to the working week. It's all such a bore. Kick back, make the best of it, and make it hardcore. Hang out with Bmms, pick up your phone, they're live, you're on the air. Now, are you ready? Are you ready to go? It's time to start the show. Grab a stick, light 'em up, let's go. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. Are you ready? Are you ready to go? It's time to start the show. Grab a stick, light 'em up, let's go. It's the Big Mad Morning Show.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Listen online, the website that rocks, KMOD.com. Past shows are available on iTunes. Search under BMMS. Listen with your cell phone. Get the iHeartRadio app. Available from the App Store of your cell phone provider. More on that at iHeartRadio.com. And we're on Facebook. Facebook.com/BMMS69. That's where you can hang out with us each and every day. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning.
Tickets to Big 12 Wrestling is happening at the BOK Center on Saturday and Sunday. And so we've got a pair of tickets for you on that. Got best and worst of the weekend. What's the best thing that happened this weekend and the worst thing that happened this weekend? And we've got our listeners are awesome. Where we talk to a listener, they share their story. Woo-hoo! And Jeff Hensley's going to join us. Woo! Question about divorce, custody, guardianship. Maybe you've got summer plans and your husband's like, I'm sorry, ex-husband is like, hey, no, that's my time. Or vice versa. And you want to ask Jeff, how can you navigate that, or what can you and what can you not do? He'll be in the studio at 9. Feel free to get your question to us ahead of time a couple ways. show@kmod.com. You can email it, show@kmod.com. You can text it, BMMS, and whatever the question is to 82945. Or you can just call when he's at, on with us at 9 at 918-460-KMOD. Boom. Full disclosure, I am not a big Cracker Barrel guy.
What?
I like Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
I got no shame in the Cracker Barrel game.
Mm-hmm.
I like sitting next to a roaring hot fire in July.
Right.
I like to buy rugs on my way out of having a good breakfast skillet.
Right.
I always got to shop whenever I'm in.
You don't get a vote.
Yeah.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
You have to.
I never buy anything there. I do peruse, though, just to see the crap that they have.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
You have to.
Well, what else are you going to do while you're sitting there waiting for another family of 10 to leave?
It's the only way to get in there is through the store.
Like a good peg game waiting for your food.
This isn't the best and worst of the weekend. Not yet.
Yeah, it's not Gibby's turn. Well, they've announced their spring menu. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know Cracker Barrel changes their menu.
I didn't
I
either.
didn't either. Hell, I didn't know that some of them served beer until I went to one and they had a Bud Light on the menu. I was like, what?
Dude, they serve mimosas.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I've been missing out.
Nothing says mimosa like a roaring log cabin fire.
Right.
Like we were back in the 18th century. Yeah. So they do like apparently this new heat and serve French toast bake. Thick country bread soaked in vanilla custard, layered with cheesecake filling, and then baked to golden perfection. I love how we've blurred the line between breakfast and dessert.
Right?
But that does sound delicious.
Sounds like you're going to lose a foot.
Fresh berry French toast bake.
Okay.
This one's only for in-store, so don't get excited for you take-home people. French toast adorned with strawberries, blueberries, whipped cream, and powdered sugar, strawberry syrup, and bacon or sausage. Yeah. How about an Easter ham or turkey dinner?
Can't go wrong there.
$99.99. This includes thick sliced sugar-cured ham. Not just regular turkey, succulent turkey with gravy.
Well, they're not going to put dry-ass turkey on there, are
It's
they?
gonna be horrible.
I would hope not.
Right.
We can't just let people assume it's dry.
Right.
Right.
Mashed taters,
Yep.
roasted gravy. What's roasted gravy?
Mm-hmm.
What's roasted
I
gravy?
have
Gravy
no
that's
idea.
gotten really high.
Or just crushed.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll be nothing.
Right.
Nice haircut. Country style green beans, their signature mac and cheese dinner rolls, apple streusel pie, serving 4 to 6 people, which means 4.
Right.
Yeah, $99.99 hard pass.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I feel like I can make it cheaper at home.
And then they do $109.99 Cracker Barrel Easter heat and serve ham family dinner and feast and prime rib.
Feast? Oh, okay.
Fully prepared meals serve up to 10 guests, including protein sides, bread, and dessert. Simply chill. Heat and serve in 3 hours or less.
Oh, God. It's basically just cooking it at that point.
I didn't know they did big take-home things like that.
Didn't either.
Maybe it's a new thing.
I'm still stuck on the mimosas. and can I get my mimosa on the porch while sitting in the rocking chairs?
I don't think they don't have bar service.
Mm.
It would be a lot cooler if they
Still
did.
out.
Do you know
Yeah, it
anybody
would
that's
be.
bought a rocking chair from there?
Nope. Can't
don't
say
know.
that I have.
They're
Heard that I do.
$400, man.
They're $400.
$400.
not cheap.
What the
They're
hell?
not cheap. Big ass rocking chairs.
They're Are they really? I'm shocked you
And
priced
sold
them.
No, well, I mean, when you're out there waiting, because I don't want to be stuck in the gift shop, and they won't let you
Buying
smoke in there
soap.
anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I go out there to look at the chair, and you flip the tag around, and it's a couple $100. May not be 4. I think it's 4 though. I think they're $400.
Inflation.
Yeah, right.
Cracker
Christ
Barrel
alive.
outdoor rocking chairs. Are you freaking? Okay, so this is a 3-piece. You get a little kids one.
Ooh.
You get a little kids one, and this is all right. They got a lot of choices here.
Okay.
The Heritage line is $249.
For just one chair?
One chair.
Oh, man.
If you want just the regular traditional wood-looking one, $149. Oh, that's a child one. I am not buying my child a $149 rocking chair.
Nope.
For a $400 tablet? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right, for them to break the screen.
But a rocking chair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how ridiculous is that, man?
It feels.
I'm curious as to what their rocking chair sales numbers are. Do they actually sell a lot of these things?
I agree, because I ain't knocking you, but the clientele that goes to Cracker Barrel isn't exactly the 150 to 250 rocking chair crew.
Right.
I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. They clearly know what they're doing.
Mhm.
They've been at truck stops and highway exits for years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I always thought it was like more of a tourist place. When you're on the road traveling, you stop at the Cracker Barrel. That's how my
That's
family
fair.
always did
That's
it.
fair.
I mean, it was one for me too, but that's because they weren't everywhere.
Right.
Right?
We didn't have one in my hometown growing up. Still
Right.
don't.
I mean, maybe, I don't know,
Yeah.
right? They build them so fast.
Right.
Every time people want to go out for breakfast and they're like, let's go to Cracker Barrel. I'm like, why?
Because it's food.
I've never understood waiting for breakfast, standing in line to wait for
Mhm.
breakfast.
Mhm.
Breakfast is breakfast.
Yeah.
Right.
There's only a couple ways to make eggs,
Mm-hmm.
True that.
right? Now, maybe the scrambled eggs or the omelet's a little different place to place, but a ham and cheese omelet is a ham and cheese omelet.
Bacon's bacon. Oh, some places have different bacon that tastes better.
Yeah.
But it's still bacon.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's
Yeah.
still bacon. It is what it is. But I don't know. I went to this an Irish place here in town, and no longer bacon at all whatsoever. It tasted disgusting. I won't go back because of it.
But the price difference you would see between bacon at, a very mom and pop place
Mhm.
and at a high end place isn't that
Cracker Barrel high end?
the price? No,
Oh,
but you will pay more than Waffle House.
true statement. Waffle House's food, I think, is a little bit better.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie.
And the difference in bacon,
Mhm.
maybe not the best bacon at Waffle House.
Right.
You may get thick cut
Yeah.
with your apple stuff
Right.
at Cracker Barrel.
Good though.
It is good. Hey, listen, I'm a big fan. If whatever you can put in a TV dinner and I can also get for breakfast, I'm in.
Right.
Nothing says yummy like God, wouldn't it be just hilarious if that's all they're doing there?
Right. Just eating up TV dinners and putting it on a
Oh
plate.
gosh.
Oh God.
If I get an apple thing with my breakfast and it's also what I get with my Hungry Jack,
Right.
what we should do is we should just sell these and we'll have a raging fire. They'll totally, who doesn't think, and cornbread, you got to have cornbread.
Oh yeah. Don't forget that.
Cornbread at breakfast is always, mwah. Yeah, to me, the price difference you get, it ain't that great.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't worth the difference. Bacon is bacon, eggs are eggs, pancakes are pancakes. Do places have some better than others? Of course.
Mhm.
Right.
But very rarely do you have a place in your Rolodex you go to and are like, these pancakes suck.
Right. It's just bread, fluffy bread.
It's syrup. You're all just covering it in syrup.
Mhm.
I'd rather go to like one of those greasy spoon diners as opposed to
Me
like
too.
the Cracker Barrel or something like that. Just a small little hole in the wall. There was one on 31st and Harvard I used to go to. A lot of Phil's, I think is the name of it. Yeah, that's a good, solid place. Mm-hmm.
The Mom's Diner chain is always pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. Any place that serves breakfast all day, seriously, it was just legit.
Yeah.
Do you have a breakfast item that you will order to judge or see if they are a good breakfast place? They're legit.
Okay.
So, like when I go to a Mexican place, some people go like salsa.
Uh-huh.
If the salsa's good, then I trust anything else. Or some people enchiladas. If they can do a beef enchilada, it's good.
Right.
If it's
queso,
chimichanga, right, whatever that is. Everybody's got a thing,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
right?
That's
If you
fair.
can't nail it, then I don't trust your ability
Okay.
to
Yeah.
make something.
I got one. Lindsay, what you got?
Usually a Western omelet.
Okay.
Okay, what is a Western omelet?
That's got the peppers, green peppers,
Okay.
and ham, and cheese, and an onion is in there as well.
Because I've seen Western omelet on the menu. I'm not a big regional omelet guy.
Mhm.
What is a Colorado omelet then?
Oh, I don't think there's because that's the Denver omelet, I believe.
Oh, is it okay?
Denver?
Denver
What's
And I
omelet,
that?
don't-
Colorado,
I don't
all
think
the
there's
same thing.
cheese in that one.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's cheeseless.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it
Thank you,
doesn't.
Jimmy. None of these
Gotta
make
have
sense.
Cheese in
You
an omelet.
have to
Do they
have
only
cheese.
have peppers in the West?
Yeah.
right. So, and
stupid.
my judgment is on whether or not they cook the peppers and onions and ham before they put it in the omelet.
Oh, okay.
If
You're going to
you
soften
don't-
up those peppers a
Yes,
little bit?
if you don't cook them, if you're not sauteing the onions and peppers and ham before putting in the omelet, I'm out.
Okay.
It's not good.
What is yours, Gimpy?
Grits, man. Grits, I think, is the simplest, easiest litmus test of a diner. Some people they serve it, it's kind of watered down. I don't like it. If you're going to serve me runny, watery grits, but at the same time, I don't want wallpaper paste either. You know what I mean? Grits is got very delicate there. Okay, so for me, if I go in and they're like, "Would you like grits or whatever the hell else they have this?" Grits. All right, cool. You get them. Some places put a little dollop of butter in there. Other places don't. But if your grits are good, I can tell you that everything else is going to be good.
Okay, apparently a Western and Denver omelet, the same.
Mm-hmm.
Made with diced ham, onions, peppers, and cheese, according to this. Spanish omelet is made with potatoes, onions, and bell peppers because they don't like cheese there.
Anymore, an omelet's just too much for me. You know?
Dum can't handle it.
Right.
Take this omelet home and not eat it the next day.
Yeah, biscuits and gravy.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, with
'Cause-
meat or without sometimes.
Well, how you make your gravy,
yeah.
consistency of gravy, and the biscuit test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is a big, and that's a big thing right there.
And some people go all in on the biscuits, like Big Biscuit. They're all in on the biscuit.
I
thing.
mean, they named their whole company after.
Yeah, their biscuits are good.
Yeah.
Their gravy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's at 50 diners next to my house. They got the best biscuit and gravy in town, hand down.
They do. It is pretty decent. Yeah.
Something about it's not like a real biscuit though. It's like traditional round, like biscuits like you normally see at the Big Biscuit or something like this. This is more like just a bread.
What's your? Everybody's got like their standard breakfast. What's your fancy breakfast?
Fancy breakfast.
Your
man.
fancy like, oh, it's celebration, or it's my birthday, or it's New Year's Day, or Christmas. What's your fancy breakfast? It's kind of a weird thought,
Special occasion.
but mine is croissant French toast. So you take croissants
Uh-huh.
and you do it the exact same, except you make French toast instead of using bread. You use croissants. That's my fancy. Apparently, more sweet sugar makes it fancy.
I
Yeah.
guess.
I've never had that, heard of it, but it sounds awesome because I do love me some French toast and I do love croissants. So I would definitely try that. That sounds great. I love breakfast. So fancy for me is let's go to Bramble and have mimosas, and we're gonna do the fondue deal. I love that
The
thing.
fondue, the
Yes.
katorka or something like that. It's a
Yes.
big bread thing. Gimpy, this is unbelievable. It's a
Okay.
big bread. It's I forget. It's a big bread thing, and it's kind of a sweet bread, kind of.
Okay.
But there's cheese in it.
Okay.
And then in the middle, they put cream and cheese and egg yolks.
Okay.
And then so they bring it out, and the egg yolks kind of cook, and then you stir it up, and you rip the bread off. It's got cheese in it, and then you dip it in the middle with the eggs.
All right.
And I like the
Sounds
one
like
with the
it could be all
spinach
right.
and the tomato. And
Okay.
oh, it's my favorite one.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
that's a good one.
total shareable. It's out. Oh, I love it. I know.
Get out of here.
I love
I
it.
shared that. That's so good. What's yours, Gimpy?
Either steak and eggs or chicken
Nice.
fried steak and eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
I'll
something
put that
about
on
having a
there.
chicken fried steak at 8:30 in the morning just gets me right where I need to go.
A good eggs Benedict.
See, I've never had it before. I've seen people have it, and I look at it, I'm like, that looks interesting. But me, I'm I like what I like, and I don't stray from it.
Mm.
Also, the guy that says, "No, I'll try anything."
Right.
I could have
Hey, no,
double
paradoxes
standards.
are where
Yeah,
society is.
absolutely.
We don't want to admit it, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Breakfast, good.
Yeah.
Rocking chairs while ordering breakfast. And that's the other thing. It's not like I can eat in a rocking chair. It's not like they're not inside. I'm not like, these are really good. We should get one for home.
Right.
Right.
You're right. I would love to know how many. I've never seen somebody like saying goodbye to their family at breakfast at Cracker Barrel and then also loading up.
Right. Well, they got to get the key out there. They got to find the person. They're all chained down.
Yeah, is it
They
like getting a
are.
propane tank at Home Depot? You're like, we
Exactly.
need someone to get a propane tank.
We'll be with you in just a moment.
Yes,
sir.
and 20 minutes later, you're like, God damn, I
Right.
just want to grill some steaks.
In my 42 years on Earth, I don't know if I don't think I've ever seen someone load a rocking chair.
Better yet, have you ever been to someone's house and like, you got to sit in this rocking chair?
Right.
We
It's
got it at a restaurant.
Cracker Barrel.
The
You
highest quality furniture is sold.
I love what you guys have done in your back patio. Oh, these are really nice rocking chairs. Okay, so let me tell you, we were ordering a Western skillet and we were sweating our balls off next to a roaring fire, having overpriced mimosas that you wouldn't share with a cat. And we left and we're like, look at these, babe. These will look great in our remodeled backyard.
Mhm.
Needs a cushion because it's a goddamn rocking chair.
Right. Made out of wood.
Do people really like rocking chairs? I'm not talking a chair that rocks. I'm talking a rocking chair made of wood and been like, this is the life. Short of
Right.
you being, Benjamin Walton
Right.
pinning to your lady that's you haven't seen in years.
They're good for, the little babies,
A chair that rocks, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
But a rocking chair, like a traditional wooden.
I guess
Nope.
not.
No, it's kind of like a porta potty, right? Like we kind of moved on.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
All right, we got to take a break. We've got tickets to Big 12 Wrestling we're going to give away. We got best and worst of the weekend and more. We'll be back.
Tulsa's morning show.
Not
I
bad.
know a lot of people have done that. Go
Yeah.
dumpster diving and find stereos and TVs and stuff.
Yeah.
Hospital biohazard waste. I ran a large trash hauling company in Georgia for 3 years. I can't tell you how many times hospitals threw their bio waste out to save on disposal fees. It got so bad the landfill ended up reporting them to big fines.
In this state, you can take a thing of syringes, and as long as it's in not a Sharps container, but a container that cannot be punctured, like a thing of laundry soap,
Mhm.
you can just write Sharps and then throw it in the trash.
Huh. How about that?
Someone texted in, I work for waste management. It does happen often. Homeless and crackheads sleep in the cans that I pick up, and it is cray. Yeah. So anyway, one man's trash isn't always another man's treasure.
Overwhelmingly, you gave us garbage. Thought we'd do a little fill in the blank news. I'll read part of a headline, leave part of it out. If you can guess the blank part correctly, good on you. First one, Mattel introduces blank Barbie doll. Mattel introduces blank Barbie doll.
That's fun because they got so many different ones now. They've got prosthetic Barbie. They've got slightly overweight Barbie.
Pregnant Barbie.
Pregnant Barbie. I'm trying to think of the other Barbies that I've seen at the store. They
think it's
got
a-
a handy-capable Barbie in a
Yeah.
wheelchair.
Think it's a transgender Barbie?
It wouldn't surprise me. We'll go with trannies.
If you've seen the movie, you know Kate McKinnon is a breakout character in the movie. Weird Barbie from the hit movie Barbie is getting its own doll. The doll, inspired by Kate McKinnon's character, and is complete with a pink baby doll dress, short, spiky blonde hair, and pink and blue highlights, squiggly forehead line, and a circle around her eye. Announcing the doll on Instagram, Mattel wrote, "Barbie knows what it's like to play just a little too much." The Barbie movie has earned more than $1 billion at the global box office, making it the first film solely directed by a woman to ever cross that mark. Funeral Home is offering blank-themed coffins. Funeral Home is offering blank-themed coffins.
I saw this and I thought, okay, come on now.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about. So
In
it'd be a number of Marvel Barbie themed.
You nailed it. Nail in
Well,
the
that
coffin.
ruins the
What would
entire
you-
time limit that we have.
What
left
would
here.
you want your coffin to look like?
Not Barbie.
Well, neither would I, but that's what people are supposedly paying for.
But you're not
pink.
Barbie fans.
I am.
Right.
I love Barbie. But
Sure. Do
do
you
I-
have anything Barbie themed in your home?
No.
Okay, then
Absolutely not.
but that's the point, right?
Yeah.
Is that it would have to be something you're a diehard for.
Yeah.
Right. Mine be like cannabis themed or something like
Yeah.
that. And PlayStation.
Barbie Mania continues to sweep the world. One funeral home in El Salvador has boarded the Barbie bandwagon in a big way. The Alpha and Omega Funeral Home in Achapan is offering a pink Barbie-themed coffin for people who want to take their obsession with pop culture sensation to the afterlife. Each of the metal caskets is decorated with stars and features lining imprinted with pictures of Barbie. One of the spokespeople says, we have to jump on this trend, adding he's already sold 10 of the coffins. It's been a success. The coffin is the latest bizarre Barbie merchandise to be released in Latin America, which has also seen products such as Barbie lunchboxes, pink tacos and pastries, and even Barbie-themed airplanes. New Jersey, only state where drivers can't blank. New Jersey, only state where drivers can't blank.
Drive.
Right. That's every state. Can't honk their horn.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, noise ordinance.
Can't.
Can't get out of your car with a can of spray paint and spray paint the person behind you.
Can't pass other drivers. Can't
Okay.
use the express lane.
Okay. All those sound like good ideas.
New Jersey is the only state in the U.S. where drivers can't pump their own gas.
Huh.
It comes
Spoiled.
as lawmakers in Oregon voted to end the ban on self-serve gas, and Governor Tina Kotek signed off on it, ending the state's 72-year ban. Gas stations across New Jersey have pushed for lawmakers to lift the ban, which has been in effect since 1949. They say self-serve gas would allow them to lower the price.
Absolutely, yeah. I wonder why that's crazy. That's crazy. I thought, those days of somebody else having gas station attendants were pretty well over.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in forever.
There's one here in town.
Is there?
Yeah, Reed's over
Oh,
on...
yeah, Reader's over there off of 15. Okay. But it costs you extra. And
Of course it does.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Blank are coming to Jeopardy. Blank are coming to Jeopardy.
Nerds.
In there.
Right. Average people. There you go. The bottom of the class is coming to Jeopardy.
Right. Reruns.
Oh, I could see that. Like on a game show network or something. Playing the old episodes of the Jeopardy.
Oh, yeah.
Like the 80s and stuff like that. So we still get our taste of Alex Trebek and that wonderful stash.
In the fro, man.
Oh, yeah.
When the new season of Jeopardy premieres, there'll be some changes as the writer strike continues. During an interview on the Inside Jeopardy podcast, that's a thing. Executive producer Michael Davies revealed that the show will use a combination of material from our WGA writers wrote before the strike, which is still in the database, and redeployed material from multiple seasons of the show. The new season will also have a second chance tournament showcasing players from the 2020-2021 season. Look for new episodes of Jeopardy to premiere in September.
Okay.
This strike is causing a lot of problems. I didn't know the writers wrote the stuff for game shows.
I didn't either, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Somebody's got to write it.
Yeah. So what are they going to do? That's why CBS is going to have Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have Survivor, Amazing Race, and Big Brother on all at the same time.
Right, because those don't require writers.
Yes. Or actors.
Right, right.
So they will have them. That's never happened before. And we watch all three of those. So, and they're on so much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we're going to keep up. That's a wife problem. Which makes it my problem. Almost half of Americans aren't eating enough blank. Almost half of Americans aren't eating enough blank.
Fruits and vegetables.
Green vegetables.
Red meat.
Oh, I think we are.
Pastries. Americans aren't eating enough pizza.
It's a movement I can get behind.
Right.
Italian pasta.
Let's see. Americans aren't eating enough tapioca.
Okra.
No one would ever say that.
Mhm.
Americans say they love apples, oranges, and bananas, but 43%. Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. News quickies, something we do. It's stories you may have missed in the news. We cover them here and put a link on our Facebook page if you want more. Facebook.com/BMMS69.
It's time for News Quickies, world news, local news, and news that just makes you say, what the Now here's Corbin, Gimpy, and Lindsay with what's going on. News Quickies from the Big Man Morning Show at 97.5 KMOD.
Stripper attacks drunk strip club patron with cash stack. Police were summoned late Tuesday night to Body Talk, a topless club down in Florida, to investigate an alleged battery on a male customer. The victim was John McKelvey, told cops that he was talking to several employees of the establishment about his career and acknowledged that the women were upset he had not provided them any tips. The 24-year-old McKelvey, apparently ignorant of strip joint etiquette, said that he did not see any signs stating it was mandatory to tip. The employees were upset that the victim had not thrown money at them, which was a common practice at the establishment. A friend of McKelvey's told police that he was drunk and he had been talking about having a lot of money and not wanting to provide a tip, which apparently led to a 9 o'clock confrontation with Miss Victoria Jones, who's 28 years old. Jones told the sheriff's deputies that McKelvey was drunk and being rude and had been following employees from table to table, verbally insulting them. She says she picked up a small stack of money and threw it towards the victim, who was struck in the face with the legal tender. She claims that the cash was tossed in a non-aggressive manner, adding that, hey, this is a place where money is thrown everywhere. McKelvey's friends told investigators that he observed Jones take money and slap the victim with it. The club surveillance cameras recorded Victoria and McKelvey exchanging words before Jones hit the man with the cash and followed up with an open hand strike. Police arrested Victoria Jones for battery, which is a misdemeanor. She was released early yesterday from the county jail after posting $500 bond and is scheduled for a March 15th arraignment.
This is actually called Body Talk Sports Bar, which is a fantastic name for a strip club.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm like, sports bar. Well, I'm sure they have sports on the television somewhere.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the big reasons why I don't go to strip clubs is I don't like tipping in strip clubs. I know that sounds weird. I'm not saying they don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the kind of person that needs to go with a predetermined amount of money in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And I also can't handle myself. So
Yeah.
Those girls are just trying to pay their electric bill and work their way through school.
100%. And
Right.
I'm not saying you shouldn't tip them. I'm just saying I go and then you're never sure how much to tip.
Right.
Right. But
Is $1 not enough?
if you're going to go in there with the intentions not to tip, then don't ask for anything. Don't talk to them.
I don't think you should.
Don't
Well,
harass them.
that's damn near impossible not talk to them, right? Because they go around.
Hey, would you like a dance?
The
Then
Ritz
you
used
say
to pass
no.
around a hat,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just pass the hat along.
Like the collection plate?
Yeah. Yeah, if people weren't tipping, that's what they would do. Again, I'm not faulting them. If that's the way the model is, that's the way the model is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you can't go and not tip, you shouldn't go.
I'm with you.
Right. I agree.
I'm with you. School in trouble for toe licking fundraiser. This comes out of the Deer Creek School District, which is down by Edmond.
Local
Yeah.
story, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And apparently during their week of fundraising for the Not Your Average Joe's Coffee, those guys, the Not Your Average Joe's Coffee, they employ handicapable people. So they're trying to raise money for this Not Your Average Joe's. And they did a bunch of different things. And one of them, the video's on our Facebook page, has students licking peanut butter off of other students' feet. And they said the school district's like, listen, the kids that participated in this signed up for the games. They knew what they were getting themselves into. And none of the faculty or staff was involved at all whatsoever, trying to justify it. It's
Right.
still weird. It's still weird. And that's coming from a guy who doesn't mind licking a toe from time to time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In a sexual way.
In a sexual way. But to see these kids down there on their belly going,
It's a crazy video.
It
it's
is.
insane. Anyhow, so now Superintendent Ryan Walters is like, what did he say? It's beautiful. We're cleaning up this filth in Oklahoma schools. That's what he said on Twitter.
Okay.
X, whatever.
I think this is a lot of overreaction.
You think so?
I do.
What would you do if like one of your kids came home and said, hey, for raising money for fundraiser, we were licking peanut butter. Forget the peanut butter allergy, right? The peanut allergy, but they're like, we lick peanut butter off of other kids' feet.
If my kid came home and I was surprised by an action they were doing like that,
Mm,
I would probably be like, why weren't we talking about this ahead of time?
Right.
fair.
So I hope I wouldn't find out after the fact because that's a separate problem. One, they volunteered. The kid chose to participate.
I just want to know whose idea. You know what we should do? We could lick each other's feet.
They raised $125,000.
$152,832.
That's a lot of money
It
It is.
for a
absolutely
very
is.
small community.
Absolutely.
So I hear you, like maybe it's not the best, but also their motives, like this is where I think we're getting twisted up.
Mm-hmm.
Their gesture, their intent is in the right place.
Right. Right.
If the mode wasn't correct, then that can be addressed later. But to be mad that how about champion that these kids raised that much money?
Yeah, that's enormous.
It's enormous. And they can be like, hey, licking feet isn't sanitary. Maybe they did all they could. Maybe these kids washed their feet. They did everything
Right.
on the up and up. I don't know. The headline splashes for sure.
Absolutely.
It's hilarious. No teachers were involved. No faculty was involved.
Right.
We let them do the kiss the pig thing, and everybody's like, that's hilarious.
Right. Well, and the thing was, is like it was for like their philanthropy class, whatever. Okay, so they're like, we need something shocking, something that's really going to raise money, something that people want to see and want to give money for. Like,
I think you're on the right path. I don't know if it's about like want to see. They're not trying to get YouTube views. I think they're trying to get kids to sign up and participate.
Mhm.
And rather than dumping ice cold water on each
right,
other,
exactly.
they need something a little more provocative.
Mhm.
So foot licking it is.
I don't think foot licking, if they're like trying to turn each other on, okay. What about when they take balloons and put them on their laps and bounce on their laps to break the balloon?
Mhm.
Nobody gets twisted up about that.
Right.
Right.
Or doing kissing booths.
I don't think that's still a
Like-
thing, old lady.
Well,
I don't think kissing booths are a thing.
okay. But I mean,
When did you see a kissing booth?
I mean, it's been a while. I've just seen a story about, sign up for the kissing booth. But still, I mean, same kind of thing.
I don't know. If you're going to do kissing the pig thing to raise money, which is a modern, very recent thing,
Right.
I don't see what the big to-do of this is.
I think it's because it's sexual in nature.
Yeah.
That's what makes it weird.
Because you're making it sexual in
Yeah,
nature.
maybe so. Maybe so.
Have you ever done the thing with your dog where you put it on your foot and let the dog lick peanut butter off your foot?
No.
Or you've seen people do it on their neck?
Not my foot.
Nope.
Not surprised, weirdo. I'm just saying that, like, it's not all just because you make it sexual in nature doesn't mean it's always sexual in nature.
True,
If some adults went around and were like, let's have children put peanut butter on their feet and let's video and watch them doing it, I'm with you. Bizarre.
Honestly, we don't know how many kinks we unlocked with that one little fundraiser right there. I'm just saying, man.
You don't know how many kinks you unlocked when you spanked them.
That is true.
So you can't have both arguments. It is a bizarre story.
Funny video.
It's a funny video. Stripper, yeah. Oh, guy goes to hospital for gallbladder, leaves with vasectomy.
Uh-oh.
So this happened in Argentina with Jorge Baceto. Went under the knife for a gallbladder surgery. The procedure was to happen on Tuesday, but he ended up being delayed a day. And then on Wednesday, hospital staff came into his room without asking him a question and wheeled him away for his surgery. Instead, he got a vasectomy. He woke up from surgery and he was told his vasectomy was a success. At first, there was a moment of speechlessness, then panic. The gallbladder surgery ended up being successful, but the vasectomy is said to be irreversible.
Oh.
Now there's a possibility of litigation. Possibility. He was hoping to have children with his new girlfriend, and artificial insemination is only option available to him now. He's totally going to win.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But why is it reversible?
It says it's irreversible.
Irreversible. I thought that vasectomies were reversible.
I think you can do it, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah. But if they're saying that it is irreversible.
Well, reversible means you go back to normal.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's irreversible. It doesn't go back to normal.
Mhm.
There's a chance it might not work.
Yeah.
It isn't a tie and they just untie it.
Mhm.
They cauterize and clip.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm very aware when they cut, and I've never been in a hospital in
Argentina.
But when I go in for a surgery, I'm always like, hey, are they asking me? Because I know, like, they mark the leg or whatever. You go, all right, yeah, this all feels normal. Nah, I feel like everybody's on the same page. We all know that this is what's happening.
Yeah.
All these stories are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BMMS69.
Tulsa's morning show is
Somebody barfs in your car, I think it's like an extra $300, but there's a little difference between vomit and semen.
He did say that he had to personally clean up the fluid from his vehicle. An arrest affidavit noted that there was a third unknown person in the vehicle's back seat who spoke up for the victim.
That's what she said.
At the conclusion of the ride. Police believe alcohol played a role in the incident. Haggerty is a licensed nurse practitioner. He was
Walker.
arrested for exposure of sexual organs, a misdemeanor, and booked into the county jail. During a court hearing, which happened this past Friday, the 2nd, a judge ordered Haggerty released from custody after posting his own bail. He puts the ew in Uber. He drove him to his $655,000 townhouse that evening.
I don't know why that's in there.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because people with money should know better than to masturbate vigorously in the back of an Uber.
People-
in the front. He was in the
In the
front,
front.
seat.
People,
Oh, God.
Next
makes
to
sense.
the
I didn't hear that part of the
driver.
story.
I thought it was in the back seat.
Next to the driver.
Why didn't the driver just stop the car?
Why didn't he punch him
Yeah.
in the balls?
No kidding.
And when you are an Uber driver, maybe some of the Uber drivers can answer this unless Gimpy went through this. If you have to charge a cleaning fee, do you 100% get all that money, or does Uber take a percentage of that too?
I don't know. I never had that problem. Nobody ever barfed in my car or masturbated to the point of completion either. So
I think the Uber driver gets all that money. And the only reason why I know this is because I worked with a guy that part-time Uber drove.
Okay.
And he used to say that he hoped that people would puke in his car because he would get extra money for it.
Well, but that doesn't mean it
And
happened
that
to
was his.
him, right? That doesn't mean he got all the money.
right.
And
He made it sound like he did.
yeah, but why would you hope that? You can't get that smell out. Like
I
that's
know, it's so gross.
the amount of money you get is not even close to the cleaning up other people's vomit. Unless you go to school to be a nurse or somebody that, no way.
Mhm.
That's not awesome.
Let's see here. Since the customer pays for the cleaning fee, the charges can appear as an adjustment to their final fare days. Uber will proactively transfer the money to the driver's account, but if the passenger makes a mess, they're planning to clean it up and will receive a new or updated charge after the ride. So it doesn't say, no, Uber drivers don't get all the cleaning fee.
That's so BS.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
So Uber takes a percentage off that too.
Uh-huh. They got to get all their money.
That's terrible.
The fee is based on nationwide averages of professional cleaning services. The fee is only paid when the mess is significant enough to prevent the rider from accepting further trips. I think semen counts. Don't sit in that seat. It's a little sticky. Man accused of shooting 127 rounds at ninja-like people. This comes out of Georgia, Marietta, Georgia, where there's a dude, he's 37, his name's Richard West, and he was roaming around town somewhere between midnight and 9:30 in the morning. And Richard, I guess, got paranoid, felt like there was some ninjas after him, so he whips out his 40 cal and fires 127 rounds
Wow.
into the business of J&R Cycles, okay? And all the damage, he destroyed a mini fridge, a microwave, a metal desk, a television, a space heater, 2 computer towers. He also shot out the front glass door and the storefront that was also glass. He tore down a portion of the ceiling panel and the insulation. He shot through multiple parts of the wall, a metal garage door, and broke a wooden bathroom door off its hinges and ripped it into pieces. Well, all that before stealing a motorcycle and getting the hell out of there. They ended up catching up to him. They popped him with 2 counts of criminal damage in the 2nd degree, theft by taking. They also got him for possession of a firearm during the commission of a theft and reckless conduct. He's still in jail.
I mean, even if he had an extended magazine, that's still like 6 or 7 clip changes, right?
Release, reload. Release, reload. 127 rounds.
I mean, I can't speak for anybody, but I have clips preloaded in my gun safe, right? And so, but not 6 or 7.
No.
And so that means he sat there and was like, and just kept loading clips.
You never know. You never know when you're going to need 10 full magazines because of ninja-like people.
Gosh, some of them ninjas.
Mother and daughter kill and grill grandma. See, now that's a headline. This happens in Maryland.
Hats off for the rhyme.
Yeah, right. See, that was
a good headline.
You told me you just pointed out a missed opportunity, and I was like, well, I got one too. So I changed it real quick.
I love it. Well done.
Mother and daughter kill and grill grandma. What happened was this happens in Maryland, where police were sent to the home of a 71-year-old Margaret Craig for a welfare check. Margaret hadn't been heard or seen of from the last couple of days. All right. Well, for a couple of days, because they think that this all happened towards the end of May. So the police go over there and they do the welfare check, and that's when they can smell the decomposing body coming from a basement. Okay. So they go down there and they search, and that's where they found 3 different plastic bags with human remains in it, rotting away in the basement. So the story goes that Margaret accused her daughter, who is 44 years old, Candace Craig, of credit card fraud. So that led to an argument betwixt Margaret and Candace, which led to Margaret's death. Okay. So flash forward a little bit. They say that the 19-year-old daughter of Candace, a woman named Celia Hardy, found the body of Margaret in a plastic bin and then decided to help dismember and dispose of the body. They believe that the 2 women used a chainsaw to cut Granny's body up and then threw the body parts on a grill and a bonfire in attempts to burn and destroy the body parts. They searched the house. They say that the remains were so badly decomposed that you can't do a physical identification of the body. So they're hoping, and they're 98% sure that DNA testing is going to come back and say, yeah, this is definitely Margaret. Nonetheless, both women were arrested. Candace is being popped for murder, and then Celia has been arrested and being charged with accessory after the fact.
It's one thing to kill somebody, I think. I think it's a completely other to dismember them.
Yeah.
And another for it to be Meemaw.
Right. The human body contains a lot of blood, like more than I want to see at one point in time. So I feel as soon as you start hacking away with a chainsaw, that's just going to be a bloody mess everywhere.
It's like putting together a swing set in your backyard. You're like, I can do this. And then you get in, you're like, I'm going to need some help.
Right. So you call your kids to come help you put the swing set
Yeah,
together.
yeah. If you've ever put it together, Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Let's see what Lindsay has for Balls to the Wall Sports.
Balls to the wall, man. Balls to the wall. Balls to the wall.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander led the Oklahoma City Thunder to a 118-110 win over the Phoenix Suns at the Footprint Center. SGA totaled 35 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 steals, and a pair of blocks. Jalen Williams chipped in with 22 points, while Chet Holmgren posted 14 points and 9 boards. The Thunder have won 7 of their last 8 and sit atop the Western Conference at 42-18. Bradley Beal paced Phoenix with 31 points in the losing effort. Yusuf Nurkic totaled 14 points and a franchise record 31 rebounds as the Suns fell to 35-26.
I mean, it is a three-way run in the Western Conference between the Thunder and the Nuggets and the Timberwolves by half game. So their stats are impressive,
Yeah,
but that
they
is
are.
a tight division right there. We're like in the East, the Celtics are in first by 8.5 games. 8.5.
Yeah.
You have to get down to 8th place with the Mavericks. They're 8.5 out of first.
Damn.
That's how tight the Western Conference is. So the finals are looking to be, even though the Thunder are playing great, every team's playing great in the Western Conference right now.
Yeah, the Celtics just made history because they beat the Warriors 140-88. They became the first team in history to record three 50-point wins in a single season.
Damn.
Yeah, they're unstoppable too right now. The sentence for former Kansas City Chiefs assistant coach Britt Reed is commuted. Missouri Governor Mike Parson announced the decision on Friday. The 38-year-old Reed, who is the son of Chiefs head coach Andy Reid, pleaded guilty in November of 2022 to felony DUI in connection to a February 2021 that left a 5-year-old girl seriously injured. Britt Reed will serve the remainder of his sentence until October of 2025 on house arrest. He will attend weekly meetings with a parole officer and a peer support sponsor, complete community service, and secure employment.
This one's getting a lot of headlines because of the Chiefs, right? Because of his
course.
last name, because of the horrendous accident that happened to this little girl.
Yeah.
The governor also said that he served more prison time than most individuals convicted of similar offenses.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of makes sense then,
Absolutely.
right? It doesn't sound like he's getting off easy. I hope. Here's my hope. The Chiefs don't make a stupid mistake and employ him.
Right. That would not be a good look for them.
It is not.
No.
I mean, it's already not a good look, but that would make it completely worse.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the Bengals hope their star quarterback will be ready for training camp. Joe Burrow told ESPN on Sunday he expects to be back with the team in mid-May. The QB is recovering from a torn wrist ligament he suffered in his throwing hand back in November. Burrow said he normally doesn't start throwing until OTAs begin, which fits within his recovery timeline. Burrow completed almost 67% of his passes for 15 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in 10 games last season.
I can't wait for him to come back. I hope he can stay healthy. It's better. It's more competitive when he's playing.
Absolutely. And that's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite.
Now,
the
how
same
they
game.
derive the letters and things like that, or on Jeopardy, can obviously change. But overall, it's the same game.
Yeah. There's no need to change it.
Tic-tac-toe, celebrity whatever, doesn't last because you get annoyed. You get annoyed with just because you're famous doesn't mean you're awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And some of these other shows, that's why I like Pyramid and like it runs its exhaustion level. That's why they don't do just Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. You want to see people that are like, quote unquote, you win.
Right. It gives you hope
Absolutely.
and a chance that you could be on that show someday and you could win that money.
The number of people that are like to know someone to be on Wheel of Fortune is rare. Think about all the times they come through and recruit people, and then how many people from here actually get on the show? Not very many, if you think about it. So where do those people come from? Well, they recruit people. Some are up and coming actors. Like they tried because they have to fill it. Lindsay's been tried to be on game shows before. One of the hardest parts about being on a game show is that you have to fly out on your own, put yourself up, and you might get on the show.
Right. They don't pay for you to be out there until you finally make the final cut.
And when you're on the show, you might just get the minimum, which is like $1,000 now or something like that, which you're like, that's a lot. It is a lot. Not after hotel and airfare and expenses.
In California.
In anywhere.
Yeah.
You go to any hotel, you're not gonna, even if you're gonna stay at the Comfort Inn.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you are, it's still $200. You're there a week. That's $1,000. It doesn't matter where it's at. You ain't staying at the Sunnyside Inn with the satellite dish painted yellow.
Right. With all the crackheads and whores.
Well, I mean, you can get that anywhere, any hotel, right? I saw this story circulating today about TikTok doctors warning the #1 position for penile fractures. Number one, 50. I want to make sure I get that. I would hate to fumble this. It's the most dangerous sex position, according to science. It's the cause of 50% of penile fractures. 50.
That's a lot.
So of all the penile fractures that happen, half are because of this sex position. What do you think, Lindsay?
Doggy style.
Okay, Gimpy?
I am going to say it is the reversed cowgirl.
It is the reverse cowgirl.
Which is my favorite by far.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, all of them are good.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even plain old vanilla is good.
Yeah. Yeah. The line of great is pretty thin from a guy's standpoint.
Right. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because they're not looking and paying attention. But are you really looking and paying attention even if you're facing forward? You know what I mean?
There's obviously no bones inside a penis. So it's a tear in the frenulum or the tunica albuginea.
Sure.
This is a rubbery sheath of tissue that allows for the penis to do what it does best. And that there is this new resurgence because of the doctor saying this on TikTok that people are like, oh, okay.
So they're seeing more broken boners now because of the TikTok?
No. The story of this being the #1 sex position for a broken wee-wee.
Okay. I've
never had a fractured penis. So I don't know what that would be like.
It's not fun. I mean, it didn't break or anything.
You've had a fractured penis?
I don't want to say fracture, but things didn't work out the way that it had, and it should have zigged when I should have zagged. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you're saying this. I was hoping you would say this.
Yeah.
How would you know you have a fractured penis? You would have to go to a doctor to know for sure. So, like, I'm pretty sure, I'm just making an assumption here that Gimpy did not go to the doctor in regards to his penis situation.
No.
So it's a self-determined diagnosis.
Yeah, when you break an arm or a leg, when I slipped on the smallest patch of ice in the parking lot, there was an audible pop that happened. And that's how I knew that I'd broken my leg. When I broke my tooth on vacation, there was an audible pop that allowed me to know that I broke my tooth. That and the tooth, fell on the floor or whatever. So when that happened, there was an audible pop that led me to believe that, like, oh yeah, this is definitely it. Like I said, it wasn't broken or anything because there's no bone to break. It's just it hurt, and it was out of commission for a couple of weeks, and that sucked.
Sure.
But you're right. I didn't go to the doctor and be like, doctor, I think I broke my Peter.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that break bones and don't know they've broken a bone.
Right.
There are players, football players, that run on broken legs and don't know that they're broken until later.
Okay, so to me, broken and fractured are two totally different things. Like a hairline fracture, a small fracture, you can still perform with a fracture. But like when I broke my leg, it was broke, floppy doppy.
Yeah.
There's no way I could stand on it. You know
Penile
what I mean?
fracture is this term.
Yeah.
But people say the same thing.
Yeah, say it's
Fracture and broken,
Mhm.
kind of, unless you're a medical doctor using it looks like you have a fracture
Mhm.
or you have a broken arm.
Right. So with
Because
that,
doctors talk serious. That's why that
Right.
voice works.
So when it comes to the penile fracture, I just said, most people can work through a fracture, a hairline fracture. There's no working through that one. That's just too sensitive of an area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how does it get fixed? You just ice
Just
it?
time.
Yeah. Like a lot of breaks. Like
Yeah.
if you broke your foot, you just don't do it. You just have to be careful.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You still have to walk.
on it.
The cast.
Yeah,
whew,
Right.
not something I'm signing up for.
Right.
And having it removed. Pass. Hard pass.
Right, where they break out
Soft
that
pass.
saw. Yeah, it won't cut you. Not taking a chance there, Doc. Co-pilot was visibly upset before leaving plane in midair. So this comes out of North Carolina, where there's these two dudes, a pilot and his co-pilot, a 23-year-old dude by the name of Charles Crooks. So these guys were running a skydiving operation, and they're in the plane, and they'd already dropped off and picked up two sets of people, and they're on their way to pick up the third one. Well, the co-pilot is actually the one that's operating the plane he at this point in time. So the co-pilot comes in for a landing, and it was a hard landing. Kaboom! Ended up breaking the landing gear.
Yeah, I remember the story.
Okay, happened in late July. So the pilot takes the controls, tries to get it back up in the air, back up to 400 feet. Meanwhile, while the pilot is trying to get things under control, he tells old Chuck here, hey, why don't you get on the horn with air traffic control? Let them know, hey, we need to divert an emergency landing. Well, instead of doing that, Chuck opens up the window and then barfs out the side. Typical. Okay, the guy's shooken up a little
Adrenaline
bit.
dump. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the pilot's like, hey, bro, get it under control. Get these people, on the horn. We need to make a
Get
landing.
it together, man.
Yeah, instead, he decides to go ahead and lower the ramp from the back of the plane. And that's when old Chuck got up and then takes his headset off, starts walking to the back of the plane, apologizes, and jumps the hell out. Now, Chuck, what the pilot did end up landing the plane in a field. Chuck was found in the back of somebody's backyard as a dismembered mess, and the incident is still under investigation.
Yeah. So, did he just go crazy in that moment?
I guess they said that he felt really bad for the hard landing, which I understand.
And the guilt just overtook him to just jump out of the plane?
Yeah, overtook him. Said that he was visibly upset and just said, you know what? F this. I'm out of here. And then there he goes.
Drugs.
Possibly.
Drugs feels like a better answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do you one better.
Fun.
Falling airplane part barely misses officer at Maine state capitol. So police officer's lucky to be alive after he was standing just a few feet when a 6 to 7 pound steel sleeve smashed into the ground outside the main entrance of the Capitol on Friday. An officer who works as a screener to the building was walking less than 10 feet from where the part fell. The FAA is investigating and says the part is likely from a large airliner on an international route. Or so they'd like you to think.
Is that common for parts of planes to just fall off like that? I've seen other stories where like the landing gear fell off and, ended up going through somebody's roof or something. But I feel like that's just every now and again.
This says things fall off aircraft every day. The Navy recorded an average of 460 incidents per year in the 80s. In the commercial world, Boeing received 200 reports of structural parts falling off its planes between 1989 and 1984, so a 5-year period.
Okay, so in the 80s, okay, it seemed different because in the 80s, there were a lot of planes.
morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. We're giving you a chance to win a trip to our 2024 iHeart Music Awards live in LA, which is happening on April 1st. And this is not an April Fool's joke. You can enter now for your chance to win, and you will get round trip airfare and ground transportation to and from LA, the international airport, and 2 nights hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to the iHeartRadio Music Awards, and a $1,000 gift card. All you got to do is go to the website That Rocks to sign up, KMOD.com. Good luck.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning. OU basketball is back tomorrow as they take on Cincinnati. The pregame is at 6:30. Tip-off is at 7, and you can always stream it on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, let's do best and worst of the weekend. What's the best thing that happened this weekend and the worst thing that happened this weekend? Bmms and whatever that is to 82945. You can also call it 918-460-KMOD. Best and worst of the weekend. Lindsay, what's the best thing that happened this weekend and the worst thing that happened this weekend?
It was an extremely busy weekend and super fun. Unexpectedly got a phone call on Saturday after I spent most of the day outside cleaning because it was so nice and warm. The boys helped me in the yard, just cleaning out leaves and everything. And that was awesome. We broke a rake. Me and my son had to go out to Lowe's and buy a new rake. And so we tackled a bunch of yard work and cleaned the house to get ready for Sunday. I was hosting a bridal party at my house to do hair and makeup. But I got a last minute phone call from a friend of mine who I have not been able to hang out with since New Year's Eve. It had been way too long. And she said, do you and Kevin want to join me and my husband tonight at Shady Keys Dueling Piano Bar downtown? And we had never been. And so we went. Kevin and I love piano bars. Have you guys been in there?
Uh-huh.
Holy crap.
I mean, I can't speak for Corbin, but I have.
No, I have not.
It is so much fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a great time. Those piano players, they are so talented. And a motivator. I was trying to relearn the piano a little bit, and it completely motivated me. It was like, oh my gosh, you need to do this. What a fun job to have, to be able to just go and sit and play the piano and sing all night long. So fun. I'm like, I want that job. Those people were so entertaining, so talented, and the bartenders were amazing. The drinks were so good. That place has so much energy. Just a great place. And so she had made a reservation. We sat at a 4-top, which was a high top table. So it was like the best seat in the house, I felt like. It was just a fun ass bar. Super fun time.
Was it packed to the brim like it
really
usually
was.
is?
It really was. It was packed.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
the
it's hard to
energy
get
in that
around in
place
there.
was so good. Just a really fun night. And then yesterday, I had Michelle and her bridesmaids at the house to do hair and makeup, and that was great. I cooked. I made
like you had a lot of great things happen.
I did. I made some bomb ass breakfast enchiladas.
Sure.
It was delicious.
So which one's the best? If you had to pick one.
I can't, because it was so amazing. The worst part, though, was after getting my makeup done, I had a really bad reaction to the makeup on my right eye. And it's like, I don't know if it's still irritated.
That doesn't look that bad.
But it was.
Oh,
like
God.
Yeah, right? It's
no, she's pulling her eyelid down.
bloodshot.
It's not
underneath.
bloodshot. It
No.
looks like there's dirt in it, to be honest.
What? Oh, it was really irritated. And I thought, oh, boy, I don't know.
Do it again. Yeah, no, it looks fine.
Okay, good. Then it's gone down. Because it was last night. It was bothering me, and I didn't want to rub it. I just thought, okay, I just need to remove.
Is that an
this
allergic
makeup.
reaction, or did they get makeup in your eye?
I didn't know. I never felt the makeup in my eye. But after a while of wearing it, I thought, oh, this is really starting to irritate me. I need to remove it. And even when I woke up this morning, my eye was really bloodshot. And it was just my right eye. So I don't know if it's the makeup brand or what, but I thought, this could be a problem.
Best and worst of the weekend. What's the best thing that happened this weekend and the worst thing that happened this weekend? BMMS and whatever that is to 82945, or you can call it 918-460-KMOD. Gimpy, what's the best and what's the worst?
I guess the best. Oh man, I had a pretty good weekend. Best was yesterday. So I partied my ass off all weekend long. Big surprise, right? Oh,
Sounds new, yeah.
So I woke up yesterday and I was feeling it, like whatever. But I had to go meet a buddy of mine. So it goes up to the pump to meet a buddy of mine, and I guess some other friends there. And what just started off as just to go meet a friend of mine, ended up hopping around town, riding motorcycles, having a damn good time. That was fantastic. And I'm on my way. I was about to leave. I was like, guys, it's getting late. I'll go home and cook up some steaks for dinner. It'll be good, right? But as I am getting my stuff together, my son, my oldest boy, calls me up. Hey, man, we're over here. They're at my brother's house. We're over here at Uncle Scott's house. As soon as this race is over with, we're going to go to the Golden Corral. You want to come with us? Well, hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah. So that turned out started off as a bad day, the little brown bottle flu, whatever, turned out to be an awesome day. I got to see both the grandbabies, got to hang out with them, even the little Betty one. So that was cool. That was probably the best part of the entire weekend. The worst part of the weekend, my roommate moved out Saturday, so I don't have a roommate anymore.
Is that why you're drinking?
That is. I was very lonely. And it sucks, man. He's good. He's a good dude. He's like the best roommate I've ever had, and I enjoyed having him there, even though he stayed in his room and did his thing, still talk every now and again. And it's good to have somebody there. And now it's just back to me and all the animals. Which is all right, I guess.
Best and worst of the weekend. What's the best thing that happened this weekend and the worst thing that happened this weekend? Best part of the weekend was I went to the doctor. I started feeling sick February 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Drainage, ears stuffy, wouldn't go away. I went to the urgent care on the 10th of February. They gave me an antibiotic. It helped a little. And so I went to my normal doctor, and I was feeling kind of better on Friday, but my ears were still stuffy. And he was like, why didn't they give you a steroid? I was like, I don't know. He gave me a steroid. Man, that's like a new person.
Yeah, you sound like a different person.
Oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Hard to believe it's been on for even the shortest month of the year, but still a month.
Right.
Yeah.
My ears have popped. I'm getting rid of stuff in my nose that are colors that shouldn't come out of your nose.
Oh, that good green stuff.
Yeah. So that's the best part. And I had some really great things happen this weekend, but just feeling better is a game changer for me because it's been hindering me. The worst part of the weekend would be, for me, it was nice, but it was so windy. It was just not enjoyable to be outside. Even though it was nice, it was so windy. Maybe it was different where I live, but when wind's going over 20 miles an hour, that's not fun to me.
Well, that's what happens when you live on a hill looking down at everybody.
Amen, right? From your ivory tower, of course.
Right.
The best part of the weekend was yesterday, as it was my first day off after 6 days straight. Worst part, had an early evening to get back on the grind today. Worst of the weekend, my low back is killing me because I spent too much time riding around in my truck. And when you are 66 and driving in a tiny truck, that S hurts. Best of the weekend, getting to chill with my family and going for a loop route with them, which is just getting stoned out on the back roads.
Oh, 6'6". He is 6'6" tall. I was like, that guy is not 66 years old.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yes. Punctuation.
I guess I should have assumed that. Best, had fun painting and drinking at Pino's Palette. Worst, didn't seem long enough. I don't know. Anytime I've been doing those, they always feel long enough.
A little too long, maybe.
For those who know, Pino's Palette is the place you go. They have some painting thing. You pay a fee. I think you can bring your own, or they provide. I forget which one it is. Beer and wine, and you sit there and drink and paint.
A masterpiece.
If you say so. Best, got to do nothing and be lazy. Worst, got diagnosed with a UTI and might have an STD.
Oh,
whoa.
No.
Hold on. Those feel dramatically different.
Right?
I got to know if that's a guy or a girl, by the way.
Yeah, right.
And do you know what STD? Like, how do you know you might have an STD?
Mm-hmm.
Do they go? I don't know. I've never had a UTI.
Okay.
But I don't know if you go get they're like, you have a UTI or maybe an STD.
Right. or your UTI is caused by your STD. I don't know.
Or you have a UTI and you might have
Like,
an
in addition,
STD,
100%, right?
But you definitely have a UTI.
I feel like when a doctor tells you have an STD, you might have an STD, you better be more definitive with that statement.
Absolutely. Like which one? What
Exactly.
are we talking about
Yeah.
here, huh?
That's like going, and you may have cancer. The spectrum is massive.
Right.
Right? What STD? All of them, you filthy whore.
Depending on the cancer, I might not panic.
Right.
Right.
I may go, this is concerning. We'll address it. Or you say a certain one, I might go, oh no,
Mhm.
this is going to be fast.
Right.
I feel like you should be clear about that. Bess took my kids shopping Saturday, and we also bought kites. Whew. Worst was we went to Incredible Pizza for my daughter's birthday party, and only my sister came. Broke my heart for her. Yeah, that always sucks.
Yeah.
Boo.
What I hate is when people are like, yeah, we'll be there. Yeah, we'll be there. And then the day of, they're like, ooh, got a better offer.
Right.
Or I'm sick or whatever that looks like.
Sure.
Bess got to finally ride my bike. Worst, had to get a new tire and shocks to be able to ride it.
That sucks.
Bess went to Oklahoma City and recorded 2 shows in Oklahoma City Saturday night. Didn't get punched in the face. Win. Worst, crackhead sister signed the rights to her kids over to her crackhead boyfriend's sister. Boyfriend and her sister have no relation. Went to visit niece and nephew while 3 hours away from home, and she called the cops on me. Mostly just wanted to get visual on them. Nobody's seen them since September of 27. It's fight mode. Tell Jeff Hensley, these tribal kids with non-related, non-tribal crackheads. I don't think a person can just write over from what we learned from Jeff, I don't think you can just sign your rights over to somebody.
Yeah, I don't know how that works out.
Only a court can decide that.
Right.
So you may have some possible scenarios there. Bess played an awesome round of disc golf at Kelly Lane and Sapalupa. Worst, and Gimpy will maybe understand, lost a disc in hole 9.
Yep, I've been there before. The wind took mine and then dumped it right in the water, and I said, well, that one's gone.
I'm a guy. I might have an STD because I'm waiting on test results. Okay, help me.
Yeah.
How does a guy get a UTI?
From having sex with dirty women. And by dirty women, I mean women with dirty vaginas.
Guys can get, from hold on. My understanding is to get a UTI, you have to get bacteria into your urethra.
Right.
For
right.
girls, very easy, right? Because I'm not going to give you a biology lesson. It just is.
Yeah.
If I put my hand in my pocket to get a coin, it's very easy to put dirt in my pocket.
Sure.
Absolutely. 100%.
Guy, I don't understand that.
But even, as a woman, you can get a UTI from even just holding your urine for too long, not going frequently enough.
So maybe it's like that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if a guy can get it the same way, but I know you can't get it from holding your urine. You can't get an STD that way. So
I know. I love Gimpy's take of blaming women.
yeah.
Of course.
It's dirty women.
Wash that stuff.
Right.
I think it's self-cleaning, by the way.
There's some out there that are not. And I've got a great story for you, but I can't share it here.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
Yes.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
Let's just say that thing shouldn't smell like boiled cabbage.
Oh my God.
Worst, got into an argument with my girlfriend because a female friend of mine is jealous and wanted to start S. Best, me and the girlfriend made up, went out to celebrate my dad's 58th birthday. Great weekend all around. Got into an argument with my girlfriend because a female friend of mine is jealous.
Oh, God.
Sounds like you know who the problem is.
Listen to this.
The female friend. Yes.
I had to Google, how does a guy get a
Love
UTI? Men can get urinary tract infections, but they are less likely to do so than women. We've already established that. UTIs are most often caused by a bacteria called E. coli that move into the urinary tract. You know where that came from.
Yeah, that's. I knew the answer. I was just kind of letting everybody play it out. The only way to get dirt for a guy in that area is if someone puts it there.
Yeah.
In most scenarios. All right, so I hear you, man. It was windy where I live.
Right. I was hungover.
Right. Yeah. Lindsay's eye hurt yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, we got a pair of tickets to Big 12 Wrestling we're going to give away. How are you guys number 1? I don't know.
Magic.
Talking about guys and UTIs. Appreciate you for sharing it, though. Guys can get UTIs from only unprotected sex with a woman, but that has a UTI. No, UTIs aren't contagious.
Apparently so.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
You're watching them make your sandwich. You see how much of everything that they put on. You could have been like, whoa, dial it back on the mayonnaise,
Yeah.
man.
Or you can say light mayo or
Right, but what's light mayo?
light on the mayo.
Yeah, but how much is
so
light? Your light
I'll
and
go
my
with
light are
sport.
not the same.
Yeah.
And I'm the artist here.
These are the most
True.
popular sandwich chains in America. Okay. This is what it says. Blimpie. Have you ever had a Blimpie?
Yeah.
I have, but it's not most popular.
Mhm.
It's the most locations,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because I can name my favorite sandwich shop, but it's not everywhere.
Right.
And I would wager the majority of people in this town have never eaten at it,
Mhm.
right? So you can't go with most popular. You have to have which sandwich shop has the most locations.
Largest sandwich chain in the U.S. Oh, here we go. Fun. This is as of 2020, so it's a couple of years old.
Uh-huh.
But it says largest sandwich chain. So does that quantify?
I think so, yeah.
As it could be.
Sure.
Okay. Continue to the site. Subway comes in at number 6.
Oh.
It has their rankings on.
What's
here.
number one?
I gotta scroll down. It doesn't have a number 1 listed on the quick list.
Well, what's number 5?
Listen, here's how it goes: 6, 18, 34, 46, 58, 63, 69, 89, 99, 100. There's nothing really. It says
Okay.
rank in there. Mhm.
Okay. So, all right. So the list you're looking at,
Mhm.
those are sandwich ones on the list.
Mhm.
So the number one sandwich shop is Subway, but it comes on number 6 of all, like probably fast food.
Probably so. U.S. sales and U.S. units. Subway did 10,000. This is the 2019 numbers. Did $10,000 in 2019 with 23,801 units. So is that sandwiches sold?
Or locations.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is when you go, there's been many times I haven't said light mustard or whatever, but sometimes I get more and sometimes I get less. There's no consistency with the.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of that's on the sandwich maker, sandwich artist, whatever you want.
I am confident that after her 2 weeks of working there, she had diligent training.
She sat back there and watched the videos, man, before she started the job.
There's no video.
There's no orientation videos.
Watch Spider. Make sure you powder your balls. We're changing. It's not patio parties. It's now powder your balls parties.
I like that. Are you going to bring the powder? Are you going to be doing the powdering? Who's powdering?
Every patio party
Powder
since the
before you
age of
come.
time.
Right.
Every single one.
Powder them up.
Absolutely.
Do you just like put a pile on like the counter and just kind of dip like you would your donuts and your coffee?
No.
Or?
So what I do is I put it in my hand, right? And then I waddle into the carpeted area in the closet, right?
Okay.
And then I have to it's kind of like a squat.
Okay.
And then I do the sides.
Okay.
And then I go underneath.
Okay. No padding at all whatsoever. Just kind of.
No padding.
Okay.
It's not it's not playtime.
Well, what you do in your carpeted part of your closet is your business.
And then
So
whatever's
is it
left
a
goes in
rub?
my armpits.
Okay. Makes sense.
If it's not a pad, is it a rub down?
That's what I said. I said rub. Yeah, on
Right,
each side.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
What are you, a patter?
I'm not a patter. I'm not even a powder.
Dude.
I'm a sprayer.
Dude.
I'm a sprayer. I got the talc spray,
Dude,
man.
No.
Mhm.
Dude, going with
Mhm.
powder is a game changer.
You say that now, but on a steamy, balmy day like it has been, you get that cold spray on your boys. Ooh.
That's temporary relief.
Yeah.
I'm talking long lasting.
Yeah, but I mean, it has the powder in it, and it does last a while. But that initial shock of the freezing cold air blasting in my balls feels great.
Mm.
Don't knock it till you
Well,
try
what is
it.
the movement is what I'm worried about.
What do you think it's going to blast them off like
It
like
could
a sand
Yes,
blaster?
I know. I don't want a cold burn. Airport runway worker killed after being sucked into the airplane engine.
Yikes.
Federal officials are investigating the weekend death of a grounds worker at the Alabama airport. NTSB said the worker at Montgomery Regional Airport was killed after he was sucked into the engine of an airplane. It happened Saturday afternoon, according to the NTSB. The American Airlines plane had just arrived from DFW when a ground support personnel was ingested into the engine. The unidentified worker was employed by Piedmont Airlines, which is a subsidiary of of American Airlines. So, if you look at an engine when it's not moving, it's got the little curly Q.
Mm-hmm.
That is on there to know if the plane engine is on.
Well, that makes perfectly good sense. Guess it didn't work for this guy, though.
He may not have been present that day or skipped that part of the training
Right.
process.
I wonder what that is.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't even think you probably have time
No, you don't feel anything.
and does it? So when I was in high school, we had a family friend that owned a chicken farm,
Mm-hmm.
and during chicken harvest season, we would go and he'd pay us, and you make good money, right?
Yeah.
And you load up just the females, you don't load up the males, but you have to kill the males, and you're supposed to pop their necks and throw them in one of the cages, and then they get collected later, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, makes no sense. I'm sorry, cancel me. I don't know. I'm just saying that's the way it worked.
Uh-huh.
Some of us, not me, would throw the chicken into the industrial fan. That chicken into the industrial fan, which are those big. Boom, 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 boom.
No, not me.
Have you seen my throws?
I would never do. Listen, Pepsi bowling champ of the 8th
That's
grade.
not throwing.
You got to throw a ball.
It's rolling.
Whatever. You rolled that rooster on into the fan.
And it kind of like the point being is it would stall the fan wouldn't just keep running.
Right.
Right? Like it kind of would.
Yeah, bog down a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that happening with an airplane?
You would think.
You would think. But if that's the case, if something that ends up getting sucked into the engine is automatically going to shut the engine off, that would not be a good idea for a plane. Because ducks, geese, birds, Superman, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the movie where they landed the plane in the headset, that's what that was about.
Yeah. So if it was going to, shut off anytime something flew into the engine, well, they wouldn't be on the ground or they wouldn't be in the air.
And what type of plane are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
A big one, a small one.
If it's a regional airport,
seater?
it's hard. No, it ain't a big one. But anyway, crazy.
Yikes.
Got to take a break. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. That was 30 years ago.
And did you get any of the guts on you?
What is it?
No,
you looking
checks
at
out.
A statute of limitations here to see if it's
Totally.
okay? Let you throw
I
your
didn't say
head
okay.
cocks in the fan. Come on.
This says I'm about to get divorced from my wife of 10 years because I made a stupid mistake and had a one-night stand. We got in an argument. I left, went to the bar, slept with some woman, and almost immediately the guilt took over me. She has told me it's over, but I have to try. What can I do to get her to give our marriage a second chance? 918-460-KMOD. Bmms. Then whatever you think he should do to 82945. Let's entertain the idea. What are some things he could do? How about a vacation?
Ooh.
You and me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to some beautiful exotic place and talk out my inability to keep my penis in my pants.
Yeah.
Having kids usually fixes that situation.
Yeah.
That maybe if you're lucky, you'll get to do that.
Vacations are nice. Absolutely.
Can you work on a
But-
problem on a vacation, Lindsay?
I don't think so. Because
This
once
isn't a
you get
problem. This is a
back-
crack in the foundation.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because once you get back, everything's right there, Yeah.
What are some other
And-
things he could try?
I think he
But entertain the
begs,
idea.
goes
No
on
bad ideas.
hands and knees and
Begs?
begs. What do you want me to? I will do anything you want me to do.
Yeah. Horrible way to get into a conversation with somebody, right? And this is why. Because you want to fix it, you have to come up with ideas. Not me.
Mm-hmm.
You want to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to tell you how to fix your problem?
Mm-hmm.
Not just this, any scenario, if you have to go to the person and be like, tell me what I have to do to fix this, then you shouldn't be in it. It's a horrible way to get into a conversation with somebody to try and rectify a problem. Because it means you don't know. You haven't even entertained ideas.
Right.
How about a candlelight dinner?
That's
It's not
good
enough.
and gravy and all, but the distractions there, man. You're not going to be able to enjoy your candlelight dinner.
you're not going to be able to do much of anything fun, a vacation or anything like that, because, there's a giant elephant in the room.
Again, we're just trying to convince
Mm-hmm.
for a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
What about a spa day?
Sure. I'll go ahead and let you spend your money on me so I can go and feel better.
Yeah, is he
About
going to send
myself.
her on a spa day? I know. I think he needs to go to her and definitely, like, he needs to know from her what she expects from him,
I don't think.
what he wants her to
Come
do.
on,
What-
Lindsay.
yeah,
Come
no.
on, Lindsay.
Taking
Come on,
her-
Lindsay.
What?
What he expects of her?
What
Don't have
she
sex with
wants him
other
to do.
people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what the expectation is.
Absolutely. But he's done it. He's done the damage.
Yeah, so we're
Right.
talking
He's
about a
done the
second
damage.
chance.
Exactly.
So what do we're just talking about crazy ideas.
Yep.
Commit to
Yeah.
an idea, Lindsay.
Yeah. So going on vacation, sure, it's nice, but now he gets to go on a vacation too. Like, it's almost like, I don't know if I want to go on a vacation with you right now.
Hall pass. You want a crazy idea? Give her a hall pass.
There,
Give her an
yeah.
opportunity to even Stevens this thing.
Okay.
Mhm. And she doesn't have to tell him about it. Ever.
Well, no, she knows about his, so I feel like it has
It's
to be
only
even.
fair, yeah.
If it's even, it's even.
No.
Why do you not get to tell anybody?
Maybe she doesn't even take him up on it. He'll never know.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Let him wonder. Did she or didn't she?
yeah. Usually works.
It usually does.
Yeah.
Withholding information.
Yeah. People have already texted him what my feelings are on this.
Mm.
To me, it's quite clear. But they are asking.
Yeah.
Right? They are going, what's some scenario? What's a scenario? What is a possibility? Brandon is on. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Good. How are y'all?
Good. What do you think?
From a person who's been cheated on multiple times, I say the damage has already been done. But if he wants to win over, they've been married.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. Big 12 Wrestling, which I'm a giant fan of, is coming to the BOK Center for Big 12 Championship this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We got a pair of tickets right now. Let's play a game. Tickets available at bokcenter.com. And we're going to play... Make sure I got this right here. Yes, we're going to play the 10, 20, 30 game.
That's right. Do you know 50 years of KMOD rock, baby? Let's find out. 3 songs from 50 years as your rock station. Answer correctly, you win, baby. 918-460-KMOD. Groove, baby.
All right, 918-460-KMOD. And I will play 3 different songs, and you will have to guess the correct year that I tell you I'm looking for. All right, so let's go to the phones and get our contestant. Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name? Oh, didn't put it. I'll try again. Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
It's Karen.
Karen, how are you today?
Doing good.
Good. All right. I will play 3 songs and then I'll tell you the year I'm looking for. If you get it correct, you're going to get a pair of Big 12 Wrestling tickets to watch Championship Wrestling, Big 12 Championship Wrestling this weekend at the BOK Center. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here's song number 1. Lindsay?
My favorite Van Halen song right now.
All right. Song number 2.
Shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up.
What about that one, Lindsay?
The Cars, Shake It Up.
And number 3.
Oh, you're gonna take me home tonight. Oh, down beside that red firelight. Oh, you're gonna let it all hang out. Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round.
queen, fat bottom girls.
All right, Karen, I'm looking for the song from 1991.
Gosh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I want to say Van Halen, but let's go with Van Halen.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Big 12 Wrestling Championship tickets are on the line. That's correct. Congratulations.
Ah, nice, thanks.
Trust your gut, girl. Trust that gut.
Yay.
Excellent job, Karen. Hang on the line, okay?
Sweet, thanks.
Good job. All right, we're going to take a break and we'll be back.
More of the Big Man Morning Show.
Walk away or open this thing up and let's become swingers.
Just walk up to her with a pineapple in hand.
Right on, man.
Upside down it, baby.
All right, Scott, have a great day, friend.
You too, guys.
All right, see you later.
Got a great idea to fix the situation.
I hear that, like, well, if she cheats, I'm going out right and cheating, and cheating right away. It's going to be like the movie Hall Pass. I'm going to Applebee's and having wings and going to bed at 9. Like,
Yeah.
Right, because that's our routine now.
No,
That's where we're at.
no, I don't have the game. Like, what are you talking about? It's not like I'm turning down women every time I go out the door.
You go to the bar, you wait till about, 1:45-ish.
Oh,
You find the biggest woman with the least amount of teeth in her face, and you say, you're coming with me.
I got to be honest. If I'm cheating as revenge, it ain't just going to be on crumbs. Listener email, I'm about to get divorced from my wife of 10 years
Homeless
because
people eat out of garbage cans,
I
Corbin.
made a stupid mistake and had a one-night stand. We got in an argument. I left, went to the bar, and slept with some woman. Almost immediately, the guilt took over me. She's told me it's over. But I have to try. What can I do to get her or to give our marriage a second chance? Lindsay.
Okay, so he already did the most awful thing he could have done, and that was cheat. But he was honest. So he's got that going for him at least. And if he wants to work things out, he's going to have to take the blame and take whatever is coming to him. If she is pissed, let her be pissed and just take it. Take the anger and just wait it out and see what she wants to do. The ball is absolutely 100% in her court. So whatever she wants, she gets at this point. If you want to stay in this marriage, if she wants to go through therapy, then you guys are going to go to counseling together. If she wants just you to go to counseling, then you're going to have to go to counseling because the ball is absolutely 100% in her court.
Gimpy.
Yeah, man, there's really nothing you can do. Honestly, just sit back and take your lumps as they are. All right. If she wants it to work, she'll figure it out. She can be mad AF for a long time, and you're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to deal with being boring. There's not gonna be any time going out with the boys or going out doing what else, And if you can't handle that, then you need to walk away. You need to realize, well, I effed this one up. I'm just going to go ahead and take my ball and I'm going to go home and then I'll come back and play the game another day. You know what I'm saying? It's just, there's nothing really you can do. Just let time pass it on by. That's it.
I'm sorry. I have no gimmick for you that will work. You tell her you want it to work. You made a giant mistake and you're willing to work through it. She doesn't hear that. You got your answer.
Yeah,
it's pretty black and white, man.
Yeah.
You have to eat your S sandwich. And when you go on and date in the future and be asked what happened with your marriage, you got to be honest. You S'd the bed royally. And so either you tell her what you want and hope she appeases you, but why beg someone to be with you? The Huffington Post has a list of the rudest things to avoid when you're visiting someone's home, like things you shouldn't do, right?
Okay.
Touching or moving things.
Well, yeah.
Oh, so like I'm guilty of this though. Like if a picture
I'm shocked.
If a picture is crooked hanging on the wall, I'll straighten it.
Why?
No.
Why? It's not yours.
Exactly.
Nope. Because I'm sure that it wasn't supposed to be crooked.
You don't know that. Some people like things off kilter like that.
I'll even mention it. I'm going to fix that.
Oh, that's rude. That's like, like the cliche of like a mom coming in, like, your pictures aren't straight.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Ma.
Another one. Expecting a tour.
Oh, yeah.
You don't walk in and be like, give me a tour.
No, I don't.
I totally do. I
because
love snooping
don't-
around.
Because I don't want someone to do that to me. Because what if your bedrooms aren't clean or the bathroom's not clean?
Then they'll let you know.
Yeah.
Furthermore, Susan, they shouldn't be having company over if that's the case. Bedroom, maybe. Right? Bathrooms, though, clean that ass up if you're having company come over.
Another one. Overstaying your welcome.
Right?
How long? What's the good amount of time to stay at someone's house?
Depends on what the activity is.
Yeah.
Let's say dinner.
Oh, okay.
Couple hours.
2 hours after dinner. After 2 hours.
So you show up at 6, 8, get out.
Because now it's time for the family to wind down.
Yeah.
And start doing their own nightly routine.
And I think it depends on who it is too. Like you always know, I think, depending on which friend it is.
Snooping.
Oof.
Yeah.
Going opening the cabinet.
Yeah, you
to
don't
look
do
through the
that.
medicine cabinet. You feel like you give the vibe that you do that.
No, I don't do that.
Okay, it's not an insult. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it gives a vibe.
Why? What gives
Because you're
you that
nosy.
vibe?
You're very nosy.
What makes me nosy?
Well, you'll walk into a room when a conversation's happening, going, "Wait, what are we talking about?"
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You love knowing other people's gossip.
Yeah. I'll watch those gossip shows.
No, I'm talking
They're
like
there
personal
for-
gossip. I'm not talking about TV shows.
Yeah, if we're here, I don't want to miss out on anything for sure.
Yeah, that's nosy.
Yeah.
Bringing an uninvited +1.
Yeah. Because now you're forcing the other people to like entertain somebody they don't know. It just makes
Right, or
everything.
don't
Yeah.
like.
Exactly. And it's not your place to be inviting somebody else over.
Feeding their dog.
Huh? Oh, like table scraps or something?
I think that's what they mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you'd be like, "Where's your chow chow so I can put it in the
Mhm.
bowl?" Yeah, some people do that. Some people think that because they feed their dogs table scraps or popcorn or whatever,
Yeah.
that they can do that with your dog.
That's good that your dog's stomach has adapted to that. But now you're going to make your friend's dog crap all over their house because it's not used to that.
Showing up empty-handed.
I don't think that's that bad. I mean, do I have to bring potato salad every time I come over?
No?
Exactly.
No, I always take something.
Yeah. I always take a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Always, always.
All right. I usually got my medicine on me, so that just works out perfectly.
Yeah, but that's not extra, right? Like I said, it's like offering him a cigarette.
Right. I don't have to share with you, though. That's the thing. I don't have to.
Yes, but you're not going out of your way is the point, right?
Listen, I'm the guy that goes to Walmart and gets the cookies for the potluck that we're having here at work, okay? Do you expect more from me?
Yeah, I think if you go to someone's house and they're making, like, let's just say dinner still,
Mhm.
you got to take something.
Yeah.
I did. I brought
Even
my
a
appetite.
dessert or wine, whatever.
Yeah.
Something.
It's just manners, Gimpy, right?
Right. Yeah, sure.
No?
Listen, y'all invited me over. Okay, cool. I'll come over and have dinner. That's all right. Doesn't mean I have to bring a bottle of wine or a 6-pack or a bottle of anything for that fact. That's that. Unless you say so. Hey, BYOB, bring a bottle, bring a side item. We'll get the main course. That happens to me a lot. We got the main courses. Come on over for barbecue, whatever. Bring a side item. All right, cool. Tater salad it is.
I've never gone to someone's house and like looked around and said to myself, "That's so dirty here."
Oh.
Ugh.
Wow.
What do they have lives? Right? I don't go, their sheets, they didn't even make their bed. I don't do all that.
Oh, I bet you
Look
have.
down my
No.
nose at you.
Because life happens.
Depends on the level of the filth, right? If you walk into somebody's house,
If you're
and
a
it looks like
hoarder?
hoarders, yeah, exactly.
I ain't going to your house. I already
Yeah.
know you're a hoarder.
But this is the first time you didn't realize that they were disgusting people or hoarders until you walk into their house,
Oh,
right?
no. You
get
can read a
totally
hoarder a
thrown
mile
off
away.
guard.
No, you can read a hoarder a mile away.
Hoarder.
Yeah, you can read a hoarder a mile away.
You just tell by the way they dress, their lack of showering.
Or by their vehicle.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, right? I think absolutely.
But you still don't say anything. You just kind of watch where you sit down, maybe
scooch the newspapers or whatever,
Yeah.
paper plates with leftover pizza rolls on them and hang out for a little bit. And I got to go.
If I'm going to judge, I'm judging, like, I'm going to judge the food.
Mm.
So I'm not going to judge, like, hey, your bed wasn't made.
No.
I'm going to judge, oh my God, you served Brussels sprouts. Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. Jeff Hensley's going to join us at 9 o'clock. If you got a question about divorce, custody, guardianship, any of those things, he'll be glad to answer them. Feel free to get your question ahead of time to us. The email address is show@kmod.com, or you could text it, BMMS and whatever that is, to 82945. Let's see what Gimpy has in his 4x4.
Well, Gobin says here that the Supreme Court announces at least one decision today. The Supreme Court is due to issue at least one decision this morning, and it could be a big one. The ruling may be the case of former President Trump's eligibility for the Colorado presidential primary ballot. The opinion or opinions will be posted online at 10 a.m. Eastern. This comes after Colorado Republican Party asked the High Court to act before Super Tuesday primaries this week. Trader Joe's steamed chicken soup dumplings have been recalled.
Uh-oh.
I know you guys are
They do make
disappointed.
good food, though.
They do.
The chicken dumplings sold at Trader Joe's are being recalled because they might contain pieces of plastic.
Oh.
Officials say over 61,000 pounds of Trader Joe's steamed chicken soup dumplings are being recalled because they could have plastic from permanent marker pens. The product was produced in December, but consumers might still have it in their freezers. The chicken dumplings should not be eaten.
So I think you read that incorrectly, or maybe they worded it incorrectly, because it should say, what was the sentence about? Read the first sentence again.
The very first one, chicken dumplings sold at Trader Joe's are being recalled because they might have contained pieces of plastic.
They have surpassed the acceptable amount of plastic.
Right.
People forget there's an acceptable amount of feces, dirt in your food.
Yeah. What else we got here? Oh, yes. Malaysia may revive the missing 370.
This story is
flight search.
amazing.
Yes. The company, Ocean Infinity, is offering another no fine, no fee search in the southern Indian Ocean seabeds 5 years after it ended its private search. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said that if the credible evidence is presented, the Malaysian government will do everything possible to get approval for a new contract. The Boeing 77 plane disappeared from radar shortly after taking off in 2014, carrying 239 people. Satellite data indicated the plane veered off from its flight path, and with the most credible explanation of being that it crashed into the ocean itself. And then lastly here, Glenpool announces a new sewage facility amid smell complaints. Hard-hitting news. Hey,
I don't hate this. Like, problem, solution.
Right. A new mechanical style plant will replace the current lagoon style facility.
Settle.
The
Settle.
New,
They said settles.
The new $60 million facility will be built in a wooden area directly next door to the current lagoon.
I think that every city should teach the kids how your sewage is treated.
Okay.
Because we don't know. You don't know. You don't understand,
You're
right?
They could be treated very poorly, and we just need equal rights for sewage. I get it, man.
No. Like the idea of knowing that whatever you put in the toilet and goes down goes to place. And then here we use this type of treatment and it settles it, and they scrape it off and let it dry out and then use it as fertilizer in our public parks.
Right.
Or whatever the system is. That is a use rather than like, I just flush it, goes away, man. I don't know.
That's all it really needs to do.
Right. This is gone.
Take my turd away.
Yeah, take my turd away.
The Chiefs will not be allowing their lockdown cornerback to hit the free agent market this offseason. The Athletic reports that Kansas City will place the franchise tag on L'Jarius Sneed on Monday. Sneed will be set to earn $19.8 million next season if he signs the tender. There have also been rumors that the Chiefs could decide to trade Sneed if they're unable to come up to an agreement on a long-term contract. The 27-year-old totaled 78 tackles, 14 passes defended, and 2 interceptions in 16 games this past season.
The problem with putting him under as a franchise player and then trading him is that we won't get probably the correct market value because you're basically asking a team to deal with it, deal with his problem, right?
Right.
Financial problem. And so I don't love that. He was getting traded either way because I think we're going to keep Chris Jones and can't keep both of them.
Top draft prospect ended his scouting combine workout due to an injury. Ulu Fashanu suffered a thigh issue during drills at Lucas Oil Stadium on Sunday. The Penn State offensive lineman completed the 40-yard dash, vertical and broad jumps, but sat out of position drills. NFL Network reports Fashanu is expected to participate in the Nittany Lions Pro Day next week. He's considered a top 10 prospect in April's draft. Meanwhile, fellow offensive lineman Amarius Mims suffered a hamstring injury and missed position drills. The Georgia product is also projected to go in the first round. So if they're that big of positioned NFL picks, why would they go about doing this?
I mean, just try to move up in the draft order would be my guess. Sometimes some people feel like I got to do it because that's the process.
Yeah.
You got Caleb Williams, who said he wouldn't participate in anything, but he was there, shook hands of all the participants, answered questions. People were like, he's a good guy, but he didn't do anything.
Right.
JJ McCarthy participates in everything, also does the questions, kind of two different examples of, doing the thing. A wide receiver did a drill, and he was the last one to leave the field that day because he wanted to get under a certain time.
Yeah.
And did it like 7 times or something like that. When you only have to do it once.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, you can do it at your pro day. And he was like, no, I want to get this right here, which says a lot, right? That may just get him moved up just by trying and not giving up, right? You had a lineman out of Wyoming, ran a 40 in like 4.8 or some crazy. And you're like, what? Some 300-pound lineman.
That's incredible.
Yes. So his stock catapulted.
Yeah, definitely. The Rockets are going to be without a member of the rotation for the remainder of the season. Houston forward Tari Eason is set to undergo season-ending surgery on his left leg on Monday. The 22-year-old has been sidelined since January 1st while dealing with a benign growth on his left shin bone. Eason was averaging 9.8 points and 7 rebounds in 22 games played this season. Houston coach Udoka said that Eason will have a bone graft on the shin and be sidelined for around 4 months. And the Celtics made history after blowing out the Warriors 140-88 at TD Garden. The C's became the first team in NBA history to record 3 50-point wins in a single season. Jaylen Brown led all scores with 29 points for the Green. Jason Tatum scored 27 points and dished out 5 assists. Peyton Pritchard recorded 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists off the bench. Boston is now leading the Atlantic Division at 48-12. Lester Quinos led the Warriors in scoring with 17 points off the bench. Moses Moody was the only member of the starting lineup to reach double digits with 11 points. Golden State is now tied for last in the Pacific Division at 32-28. And that's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite, the original.
Yeah. All right. Chicken piccata. Chicken piccata is the lemon chicken. I know. It's lemon.
Yeah, 7.
That's 0.
Oh my God.
Like we went to that fancy Italian place for the boss that was last week, his lunch or whatever. And I'm looking at the menu. I was like,
Mondo's, great Italian restaurant.
Mondo's, I respect them and what they do. It's just Italian is not for me. I'm like, I don't know what to get. Everything on the menu had either mushrooms or lemon on it. And I was just like, what's this stuff with the shrimp? Sounds good. I'll eat the shrimp over the noodles, which is exactly what I did.
I mean, I wanted to see. All right, so let's just go with a couple things here because I'm trying to find fried mozzarella.
I mean, that's just deep
10.
fried cheese. But even then, I want to give it like a 4.
Calamari.
10.
Calamari. I'll go ahead and give that like maybe a 6 or something because I've had calamari at other places that's not Italian food.
Bruschetta or bruschetta.
10.
Was that the fancy bread?
It's most of the time it's toasted little pieces of bread with tomatoes and olive oil and balsamic and basil and
Yes,
stuff.
the extremely stale bread that you chip a tooth on every time you eat it. That's a 0.
Let's see. Let's get it. Spaghetti and meatball ravioli.
Lindsay?
6.
Only if it's Chef Boyardee. Which actually his name was Chef Boyardee, but we had to Americanize
Yeah. Give me your rating, Mr. Wikipedia.
1,
Tortellini.
4.
2.
Peppers and onions.
That's it. Like no sausage to put them on,
It's
or
sausage,
anything?
peppers, and onions. It's typically
Like a
4.
bun, you know? I mean, I guess with the sausage, peppers, and onions, I give it like a 3, 4, maybe even.
fettuccine carbonara.
What's the carbonara part?
Bacon.
Oh.
That's a 5.
What?
1.
Eggplant parmigiana.
Yeah, that's 8.
That's a big 0 for me, homie.
Meatball sub.
Oh, God.
5.
This is getting worse and worse the further we go down. 0, man. That stuff is too messy. It doesn't eat well. You have to have a fork to eat a sandwich. I think that's retarded.
Oh, I liked it. Gnocchi.
What? Huh? Oh, okay. I've had that come in like a Hello Fresh or something like that once. And I was like, what is this? What is this garbage?
Oh, you didn't enjoy it?
Lindsay.
5.
0.
Oh my gosh.
I know it sounds crazy, but like when it comes to like the Big 10 of restaurants and foods and stuff, Italian's at the bottom of that list for me, man.
Somebody texted in and said, you think Zio's is delicious? You got to try Luigi's and Skytook. So authentic. I think it's run by the actual Italian mob. I've had Luigi's and Skytook. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I like, it's not like I go to Zio's and I order one of everything.
Right.
I worked there after college, and their 5 cheese pasta, adding chicken to it, was so good.
Yeah.
Their spinach artichoke dip, which isn't Italian, whatever, but it was so good.
Mm-hmm. I just like the brown paper on the tables that give you crayons.
The cannoli, yeah, I know how to write my name upside down. Cannoli, with the Alfredo and the chicken stuff, so good there.
I'll give you that. I'll give you the Italian dish, the cannoli. That's delicious just because it's cheese and powdered sugar.
No. That's the dessert.
I know.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
That's the only Italian food that I really, 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 really like is a good old cannoli.
We haven't gotten to the real one. Pizza.
I've said it before, and y'all thought I was crazy.
1 to 10.
1 to 10, a pizza. That's going to be a 3 for me. So low on the scale, man.
Lindsay.
10.
Yeah.
Always.
Pretty much all those except peppers and onions that we've mentioned are about anywhere between an 8 and a 10 for me.
Really?
See, I love peppers and onions. I don't love the heartburn, but man, it's almost worth the heartburn for me.
A good bolognese pasta.
Well, Italian food. They are the Beatles for me.
A nice short
food.
A short rib braised ragu.
Ragu, the sauce in a jar.
So it's just no. So good. I'm telling you, man, Italian food. Thought we'd do a little fill in the blank news. I'll read part of a headline, leave part of it out. If you can guess the blank part correctly, good on you. First one, Mattel introduces blank Barbie doll. Mattel introduces blank Barbie doll.
That's fun because they got so many different ones now. They've got prosthetic Barbie. They've got slightly overweight Barbie.
Pregnant Barbie.
Pregnant Barbie. I'm trying to think of the other Barbies that I've seen at the store. They got handicapable Barbie in a wheelchair.
Think it's a transgender Barbie?
It wouldn't surprise me. We'll go with trannies. If you've seen the movie, Kate McKinnon is a breakout character in the movie. Weird Barbie from the hit movie Barbie is getting its own doll. The doll, inspired by Kate McKinnon's character, and is complete with a pink baby doll dress, short, spiky blonde hair, and pink and blue highlights, squiggly forehead line, and a circle around her eye. Announcing the doll on Instagram, Mattel wrote, "Barbie knows what it's like to play just a little too much. The Barbie movie has earned more than $1 billion at the global box office, making it the first film solely directed by a woman to ever cross that mark. Funeral Home is offering blank-themed coffins. Funeral Home is offering blank-themed coffins.
I saw this and I thought, okay, come on now.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about. So
In
good number Marvel Barbie themed.
You nailed it. Nailing
Well,
the
that
coffin.
ruins the
What would
entire
you-
time limit that we have.
What
left
would
here.
you want your coffin to look like?
Not Barbie.
Well, neither would I, but that's what people are supposedly paying for. Barbie,
But you're not
pink.
Barbie fans.
I am.
Right.
I love Barbie. But
Sure. Do you have anything Barbie themed in your home?
No.
Okay, then
Absolutely not.
but that's the point, right?
Yeah.
Is that it would have to be something you're a diehard for.
Yeah.
Right. Mine be like cannabis themed or something like
Yeah.
that. And PlayStation.
Barbie Mania continues to sweep the world. One funeral home in El Salvador has boarded the Barbie bandwagon in a big way. The Alpha and Omega Funeral Home in Achapan is offering a pink Barbie-themed coffin for people who want to take their obsession with pop culture sensation to the afterlife. Each of the metal caskets is decorated with stars and features lining imprinted with pictures of Barbie. One of the spokespeople says, we have to jump on this trend, adding he's already sold 10 of the coffins. It's been a success. The coffin is the latest bizarre Barbie merchandise to be released in Latin America, which has also seen products such as Barbie lunchboxes, pink tacos and pastries, and even Barbie-themed airplanes. New Jersey, only state where drivers can't blank. New Jersey, only state where drivers can't blank.
Drivers. Right. That's every state. Can't honk their horn. Okay. Yeah, noise ordinance. Can't get out of your car with a can of spray paint and spray paint the person behind you.
Can't pass other drivers. Can't use the express lane.
Okay. All those sound like good ideas.
New Jersey is the only state in the U.S. where drivers can't pump their own gas.
Huh.
It comes as lawmakers in Oregon voted to end the ban on self-serve gas, and Governor Tina Kotek signed off on it, ending the state's 72-year ban. Gas stations across New Jersey have pushed for lawmakers to lift the ban, which has been in effect since 1949. They say self-serve gas would allow them to lower the price.
Absolutely, yeah. I wonder why that's crazy. That's crazy. I thought, those days of somebody else having gas station attendants were pretty well over.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in forever.
There's one here in town.
Is there?
Yeah, Reed's over.
Reader's over there off 15. Okay. But it costs you extra. And
Of course it does.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Blank are coming to Jeopardy. Blank are coming to Jeopardy. Nerds. In there.
Right. Average people. There you go. The bottom of the class is coming to Jeopardy.
Right. Reruns.
Oh, I could see that. Like on a game show network or something. Playing the old episodes of the Jeopardy.
Oh, yeah.
Like the 80s and stuff like that. So we still get our taste of Alex Trebek and that wonderful stash.
The fro, man.
Oh, yeah.
When the new season of Jeopardy premieres, there'll be some changes as the writer's strike continues. During an interview on the Inside Jeopardy podcast, that's a thing. Executive producer Michael Davies revealed that the show on 84660 KMOD. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. You can see Jim Gaffigan, hilarious comedian. He'll be in Tulsa on March 24th inside the Cove at River Spirit Casino. Sign up to win your tickets at KMOD.com.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning, Corbin. There's a lot of different ways that you can communicate with us. You can call, you can text, but you can also use the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app, little microphone in the corner, tap it, say what you want, and then it comes to us.
All right, time for Our Listeners Are Awesome. We love chatting with our listeners. They share their life story. We talk to them. And on the phone with us today is Cole. Hey, Cole, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. You're married? How long you been married?
About 6 years.
6 years. And how'd you meet your wife?
We went to high school.
Okay. Gimby, you're going to have to check on that. See if we can't get a better connection. Sometimes that levels out for whatever reason. Maybe he's out in a field somewhere working, or maybe it's us. But it's definitely possible for either one. I always like starting with the question of marriage. It's like an easy question about your life. Some people say, I met my wife through work.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think that's a fascinating angle. So I always like starting with that question. We'll see if this is better. Hey, Cole.
Yeah, how you doing?
Oh, much better. So how'd you meet your wife?
High school.
And you guys were high school sweethearts?
No, we got together after school.
Okay, after high school. How'd you guys connect after school?
Just hanging out. We had some mutual friends that were dating, and that just kind of put us together, and thing led to another.
And what is it you love about your wife? What makes her awesome?
Just her outgoingness and obviously willing to start it. How good she is at starting a business and following things through.
Yeah, a good partner, not just in life, but also in the business, because you guys have a mobile petting zoo, right?
Yes, sir.
What made you want to own animals?
I just grew up with animals. My dad trades a lot of horses and cows, and heck, he's had half zebras and everything you can imagine.
When you sit at the dinner table and go, baby, I got an idea for a business, or she does, and what's the first animal you're like, we got to get X?
We already had ponies, and we do pony rides also, so that was already in a play pretty much. And she loves animals, so we had some goats and sheep, and we was coming back from a pipeline job, and my little girl had just started school, so we couldn't travel together no more. And she's like, let's start a mobile petting zoo, which I really didn't think it was too great of an idea at first. But then we come up with the pony rides also, and that got me involved, and man, it has really blew up.
Is there an animal that you don't have but you wish you had for your mobile petting zoo?
I don't know about for the petting zoo itself, but I'm going to get a zebra. That's my goal.
Okay.
What are you going to name your zebra?
What about that? He's mostly just going to be a stud. I'm going to raise those half zebras is my plan.
When you get, let's just say you upgrade your zoo and add a zebra, if this were the case, what kind of price point can you rate? Like, does a zebra, it's like when, you remodel your kitchen, like, oh, wow, like it's a much nicer home now because when you add a zebra, can you raise your price on what you charge for the petting zoo?
Probably stay affordable for everybody. Everybody keeps telling us we are way too cheap, but, it keeps us busy. And we want to make it affordable for everybody. We actually just got a kangaroo, and we haven't changed anything.
What is the hardest part about getting a kangaroo for your petting zoo?
I don't know. It was pretty simple, really. I just forked over the cash. Money talks,
Did you just Google kangaroos for sale, or is you meet a guy on the corner? He's like, hey, man, I got a kangaroo. You want some kangaroo?
There was actually a livestock auction up in Jones, Oklahoma, and they normally sell goats and sheep and horses and cows, but every once in a while they'll bring in something random, and he was one of the things.
How big?
And my wife had to have it.
How big is this kangaroo? Is it still small, juvenile, or is it adult size? You can take it out boxing or whatever?
It's about 16 months old, so he's about 3.5 foot tall.
Okay.
Wow. And is it mean?
No, he's very nice. I have 4 children, and they all play with him.
How tall is it?
3.5 foot, probably.
Okay. Yeah. And how tall can it get?
I think they get around 5 to 6.
That's a big bitch. I've seen some kangaroos. They look jacked, man. You wouldn't want to mess with them.
Will it stay nice? Will it stay a nice kangaroo, do you think? Or do they say as it gets taller, it may get more aggressive?
The vet said that with him being a bottle baby, he'll more than likely stay docile, especially since we don't have a female.
Uh-huh.
So we're hoping he stays docile.
Huh. Now, sometimes, I've had I can't speak to kangaroos, but I've had dogs and stuff and cats, and sometimes they hide stuff. Do kangaroos hide stuff in their pouch?
I think with him being a male, he doesn't have a pouch.
Okay,
I haven't actually investigated that.
You didn't see if it had a pouch? That's like buying a car and finding out where all the things are.
No, but he likes to get in the closet and tear the clothes off the rack. We kept waking up with all the clothes on the floor, and finally we got him on video the other day.
How many animals do you let stay in your house?
Normally just 2 dogs and a cat, but the kangaroo comes in and out of the doggy door since it's been cold at night. And I hate to admit it, but right now there's a sheep and a goat in a diaper that's staying there too because their mother rejected them. and we're bottle feeding them, you know.
Yeah, it's just easier to keep them in the house than to go out to the barn all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much extra hassle or work is it to be bottle feeding your goat?
For me, 0. My wife takes care of him while I work.
And how much does a kangaroo cost?
I paid $1,650 for him.
$1,650.
Damn.
Yeah.
What's the most expensive animal you have?
Probably him.
Yeah.
I got close with a few of my horses that were close to that, but he was probably the most expensive I could think of.
What's his name?
Rowdy Roo.
Rowdy Rose the kangaroo.
Rowdy Roo.
Rowdy Roo.
Rowdy Roo.
Roo the kangaroo. That makes sense then.
Yeah. Right. And is there like an insurance policy you get? Like, how do you, because it is your business, if something happens to Rowdy, do you get is there an insurance policy on him, or are you just, that's the way it is?
I don't have an insurance policy on him. I do have an insurance policy through my whole business, which is a $2 million policy. But as far as he goes himself personally, he's not insured.
What is the life expectancy of a kangaroo?
Honestly, I haven't even looked. My deal's the horses. I can tell you all about the horses. My wife's more the exotic and the sheep and goat lady.
Okay.
So this is your full-time job now, right?
Yes, sir. I do work as a pipe fitter during the winter because things get slow during the winter.
Right, just on a contract basis, right?
Yeah.
So Monday through Friday, because I would imagine most of your business is on the weekends for taking the zoo out for people to pet, right?
Yes, sir.
So what do you do Monday through Friday?
Maintenance, put out hay, water, clean out the horse trailers. We have a barrel train ride and it seems to go through tires quite frequently. So just maintenance. And then hanging out with the kids during the summer.
Sure. And have you ever had an accident with one of the animals? I would think sometimes animals, they are wild. They get free will just like anyone else. Have you ever had an accident with one of the animals?
Nothing major. Happened. I was doing pony rides at a party, and a guy decided to light a bonfire with a firecracker, and he had like 5 gallons of gas on the fire. So of course he shoots the Roman candle, and then the fire, woo, and my horses did get spooked a little bit, but I got them under control really fast, and everybody was good.
Yeah, a lot going on in just that statement of 5 gallons feels like a lot. It's a little accelerant, but what do I know? Have you ever been bitten by a horse?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
What happened?
He was eating, and I was brushing him, and I walked around the front of him, and he just reached over and bit me on the chest. I really don't think he meant to. I think that he thought it was another horse trying to get to his feet because it was a really good horse. And I could see the look on his face when he realized what had happened. He was like, oh, no, But it hurt. I mean, you can only imagine flat teeth. It pinched my skin off more than tore it off,
Yeah, because they feel like horses don't have a middle road. They are, if I'm biting you, I'm biting you. I'm not warning you. I'm just going to bite you.
Yeah. Definitely.
And my favorite thing, anytime we see like pony rides or anything, I always love seeing, and I'm just going to use a very unfair statement, city folk walk up to a horse and they never think they always are like, yeah, I'll walk around the back of the horse. And you always can tell people that have been on farms or around animals because they are, as the participants or the people that are there to watch are like, oh, like they freak out. How many times do you have to tell people to not walk behind the horse?
At least 15 times a party.
Wow.
Yeah, because they will get jacked.
Yeah.
So I watched this TikTok video recently, and it was a guy and his pit bull, and this little booger picker kid, couldn't have been more than maybe 4 years old, goes up and starts hitting them with the damn water bottle. And then the guy's like, stop doing that. And then like the dog was taking it until the dog didn't want to take it anymore. So the question is, you got any little asshole kids out there just beating your animals for no reason because they're, I don't know, asshole kids?
Yeah, I got to get on to them quite frequently, really. I mean, mostly it's like little kids that are, really young and they want to hold the bunny so tight and squeeze it and love it. And they're like choking the bunny down,
Right. Treat it like an MMA match. Choke that little,
Right.
that little bunny out.
So when you go to a party, do you take the entire mobile petting zoo with you?
I have enough to do 4 parties at a time. So no, not everything I own, but I do take a selection of all the animals.
Okay.
If I were in the I want to have a mobile petting zoo at my kid's party area, what should my expectation be on cost?
It's a full-blown party, which is a pony carousel, a mobile petting zoo, a train ride, and a standard-sized bounce house. It's going to run you $700.
Well, that's not bad at all.
I don't think that's bad at all.
Not at all.
I don't think that's bad at all.
Now, if you priced everything individually, it'd be way more than that.
Yeah. I mean, a bounce house alone, you get it's like $500.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
It's a steal.
It says here to ask you about the time that you woke up in another state on the side of the road wearing nothing but a t-shirt and your underwear.
This was back in my younger days when I used to pipeline. And I don't know if you know, pipeliners kind of have a bad rep. But anyway, yeah, I was on a job. I can't remember if I was staying in Indiana or Ohio, but I think it was Indiana. And they didn't have no casinos until you go to Ohio, which is just right down the road, like an hour to cross the line. And a guy had brought us some moonshine, so we started drinking pretty good on the moonshine. Got over there, and they was having what they call a boogie night. It's a dance night. And we got a little carried away, and we went to go leave. I guess I was too intoxicated to drive, so they called me a cab. And I said, yeah, I'm at the campground. Well, there was a campground apparently not too far from there, but it wasn't the one all the way in Indiana. And I had blacked out at this point. So I wake up the next morning, cars whizzing by, nothing but T-shirts and boxers. And I go into panic mode, of course. So I start walking down the road, trying to look for clues or a phone to use. And the first thing I stumbled upon was a used car dealership. And the guy ran me out of there. Of course, I was scaring the customers away, he said. And I went to a few houses, same thing. Nobody's going to answer the door to a crazy person. So after a while, I turned around and started walking the other direction, and I found my ball cap. I was so excited I had found a clue. So I put my hat on. I kept walking. Next thing you know, I see my jeans. I run up there, and there's my jeans. The pants are still tucked over the top of the boots. And at this point, I didn't know what happened. I had a road rash from the top of my chest to the bottom of my chest to the top of my pants line. And I didn't know if I got mugged or what. So I reached in my pants, and there was my wallet and my keys and my phone. So I put my clothes on, and I started calling my friend that I was with. I called him at least 60 to 80 times. I'm not exaggerating. And he never did answer the phone. So I called another guy and kind of started explaining where I was at, told him the car dealership I went to and some street signs. And he was like, dude, you were like 2.5, 3 hours from the campground. And I'm like, well, I don't care. You got to come get me, whatever it costs. So he comes and gets me. I wait on the side of the road forever. He finally shows up. And since I found my keys, I knew my truck was still at the casino. When we got there, there's puke all around the bed. I had a flatbed on my truck. And that's where my buddy had been sleeping all night. I guess, he didn't have a ride home, and I had my keys. Well, he wasn't there. He had ended up calling a cab, I guess, early that morning and got a ride back home, go to the camper. And anyway, I drive my truck home and beat on his door. I'm like, dude, what the heck happened? And he's like, I don't know, man. You was too drunk to drive, so they called you a cab. And I told him everything that happened. And we really, still to this day, have not figured out exactly what happened. I'm assuming I started stripping. I used to be bad about getting drunk and stripping down. I'm assuming I freaked the cab driver out. He just kicked me out of his car when he was going down the road. That's where the road rash came from, probably.
Oh, God.
And then maybe he just threw my clothes out as he was driving. Like I said, I found my clothes in different spots,
Do you remember the name of the casino that you were at?
It was, like I said, it was all the way in Ohio somewhere, and this has been 10, 15 years ago.
How old were you?
I had to have been probably 20, 21 years old.
Okay.
I was 21 because I remember I was drinking at the casino. So, yeah, I was at least 21.
Yeah. Moonshine, man, always dangerous. People give us moonshine, and I'll taste it, but never do I want to drink a lot of it because you have no idea what they're working with.
That's right.
Yeah. And So the road rash, I mean, did you have like how bad was it? Was it just like a strawberry, or did you have like stones embedded into your chest?
It was definitely had scabbing over it. It was sore for a few weeks.
How long till you went that hard again?
Probably like this weekend. Pretty long.
Yeah. I figured, man, God. Yeah. Well, last question I have for you. With a mobile petting zoo, how much crap do you collect in a weekend?
Duty.
Well, it's not really too bad because we turn everything out to pasture, so that part's not bad. But in the horse trailer, there will be a lot. I mean, I don't know if you was to put it in a garbage sack. I mean, there'd be 4 or 5 every weekend out of 4 different trailers. So quite a bit. But like I say, during the week, they're turned out to pasture. So
I'm telling you, I think you got a social media account here. You start every day collecting it and then weighing it. And at the end, you disclose like how much you collected. Because I think people would be shocked the amount of feces that animals turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst of the worst.
And are your kids old enough where you can delegate that to them now?
I got a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
So maybe the 6, but you're going to still have to help.
Yeah, the 2 older, they're pretty good help, really, the 5 and 6-year-old.
The thing about that kind of job is kind of like dog walking. The only difference between those jobs and any other jobs is you physically have to get involved with the BS of your job.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been awesome talking to you. And what's the name of the petting zoo if people are interested?
It's Mobile Petting Zoo.
Sorry, the phone cut out. What was it again?
Mary Sue's Mobile Petting Zoo and Pony Rides.
Right on. Dude, Cole, it was great talking to you, man. Thanks for taking the time. Good luck with everything. All right, buddy. See you later. Our listeners are awesome. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
You're listening to the
For a welfare check. Margaret hadn't been heard or seen of from the last couple of days. All right. Well, for a couple of days because they think that this all happened towards the end of May. So the police go over there and they do the welfare check, and that's when they can smell the decomposing body coming from a basement. Okay. So they go down there and they search, and that's where they found 3 different plastic bags with human remains in it, rotting away in the basement. So the story goes that Margaret accused her daughter, who is 44 years old, Candace Craig, of credit card fraud. So that led to an argument betwixt Margaret and Candace, which led to Margaret's death. Okay. So flash forward a little bit. They say that the 19-year-old daughter of Candace, a woman named Celia Hardy, found the body of Margaret in a plastic bin and then decided to help dismember and dispose of the body. They believe that the 2 women used a chainsaw to cut Granny's body up and then threw the body parts on a grill and a bonfire in attempts to burn and destroy the body parts. Either way, they searched the house. They say that the remains were so badly decomposed that you can't do a physical identification of the body. So they're hoping, and they're 98% sure that DNA testing is going to come back and say, yeah, this is definitely Margaret. Nonetheless, both women were arrested. Candace is being popped for murder, and then Celia has been arrested and being charged with accessory after the fact.
It's one thing to kill somebody, I think. I think it's a completely other to dismember them.
Yeah.
And another for it to be Meemaw.
Right. The human body contains a lot of blood, like more than I want to see at one point in time. So I feel as soon as you start hacking away with a chainsaw, that's just going to be a bloody mess everywhere.
It's like putting together a swing set in your backyard. You're like, I can do this. And then you get in, you're like, I'm going to need some help.
Right. So you call your kids to come help you put the swing set together.
Yeah. If you've ever put together a swing set in the last 5 years, it shows up and you're like, okay, yeah, I could do this. And then on day 2, you're like, we'll put that on later.
Right. Kids don't need a swing, do they?
Yeah.
Nah.
I think the monkey bar sat in my garage for a good year.
They're not going to be able to reach up there and grab it anyway.
Right, exactly. Do you think Meemaw was a bad person, abusive, maybe?
Are you justifying
have
it?
to be?
Are you implying that if she was, then she probably should be dismembered?
No. But would she have to be for it to be like...
You brought it up.
okay.
You brought it up. You tell me.
Well, I look at Dexter, like the show Dexter. It was like he was almost like the good bad guy because he was taking out bad people.
No, Dexter was a horrible person.
Oh, see, I looked at him as a good bad guy. He was taking out bad people.
Like a Robin Hood sort of thing. That instead of
Yes.
robbing the rich and giving to the poor, we're just killing bad people.
Uh-huh.
Jack the Ripper is another one, killing the whores of the world.
Yes.
If you think that's
If-
bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dexter was not a good person.
I thought so. I thought he was good.
But he was hurting people. He was killing people for minor things, not huge infractions.
Some of
You
them.
bumped into me at the grocery
No,
store.
Yeah.
no.
Some of them,
No.
sure, but not all of them.
No, he wasn't doing it for bumping into me
How
at the grocery
dare you
store.
take the last bagel at work?
I've got the longest running game shows in television history.
Fun.
You want to guess one?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy's on here.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune, of course.
Mhm.
That's
The
what brought
Price
us.
is Right.
Price is Right, of course.
Okay, so those are the three basics. What about Press Your Luck?
No.
Yeah.
So, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Really?
22 years. Password, 23 years.
The Pyramid.
What's My Line? 24 years. Pyramid, 25 years. Let's Make a Deal, 35 years.
Wow.
Now, does that count? Because it wasn't 35 years consecutive. It was
Right.
It was the Monty guy for a while, and then they brought it back with Wayne Brady. So I guess mash them together, it works.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be consecutive, like Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune, and Jeopardy. Those are all consecutive years.
Yeah, I think if you work at KMOD and then take a break and come back, you get X number of years,
Okay.
right?
Alrighty then.
Ooh.
Family Feud, 40 years.
Okay.
I was gonna
Wheel
say-
of Fortune, 48 years. Jeopardy, 54 years. This show I've never heard of because it's in another country. Des Chiffres et de Lettres.
Sure, easy for
Numbers and Letters, 56 years. It's still on today. Price is Right, 60 years.
So that's the longest. Price is Right.
Price is Right, yeah,
Wow.
is the longest one. Or is it going to be a thing that comes out like it did with Bob Barker that he had to kind of step away because
He owed.
Mhm.
he like a miscusi.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. Well, it was a different time then.
Right. It changes. Empathy towards humans.
All right.
60 years is a long time, though,
Yeah.
for a
Mhm.
game show.
Yeah, for sure. It just makes me wonder how long those are going to be on. Are they going to keep doing it? They're going to revamp it, make it different so they can keep that name going? Because really, that's all that people are going because of the name. People were watching because of the name, because they watched it growing up. Everybody knows that when you're sick and you're staying home from school, you're watching The Price is Right.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think shows like Price is Right is a different game show, obviously, than like Jeopardy or Wheel, because they have to technologically evolve.
Mhm.
Okay.
They have to evolve the show and the games.
Right.
You can have some classics, but you've got to introduce new games on
Okay.
Price is Right, because technology changes and people's understanding of things changes.
That makes sense.
Wheel of Fortune, it's spin a wheel,
Mhm.
earn points.
It's
Now,
the
how
same
they
game.
derive the letters and things like that, or on Jeopardy, can obviously change.
Mhm.
But overall, it's the same game.
There's no need to change it.
Tic-tac-toe, celebrity whatever, doesn't last because you get annoyed. You get
Mhm.
annoyed with just because you're famous doesn't mean you're awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And some of these other shows, that's why I like Pyramid, and like it runs its exhaustion level.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's why they don't do just Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. You want to see people that are like, quote unquote, you win.
Right. It gives you hope
Absolutely.
and a chance that you could be on that show someday and you could win that money.
The number of people that are like, to know someone to be on Wheel of Fortune is rare. Think about all the time they come through
Mhm.
and recruit people. And then how many people from here actually get on the show?
Mm.
Not very many,
Mhm.
if you think about it. So where do those people come from? Well, they recruit people. Some are up and coming actors. Like
Okay.
they tried, because they have to fill it. Lindsay's tried to be on game shows before. One of the hardest parts about being on a game show is that you have to fly out on your own, put yourself up, and you might get on the show.
Right. they don't pay for you to be out there until you finally make the final cut.
And when you're on the show, you might just get the minimum, which is like $1,000 now or something like that, which you're like, that's a lot. It is a lot. Not after hotel and airfare and expenses.
In California.
In anywhere.
Yeah.
So KMOD can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. He knows better than dropping a bomb like that.
I think he did it on purpose.
I think so too.
Did he tell you too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. I'll recover. So this is pretty interesting. I didn't know about this, but I think New Jersey gets a bad name, right? We talk about like it is constantly like a punchline for jokes about the East Coast and being like a bad place.
Yeah.
But people that are from that area, not New Jersey, but from the area, talk about how nice New Jersey is.
Sure.
And that there's a couple spots that aren't great, but New Jersey in general is nice. I didn't know this, that New Jersey is touted for having no traffic deaths in 7 years.
Huh.
Wow.
They got good drivers?
City of 60,000 is close to New York City, and they have a lot of traffic and commuters. Limited street parking and none near intersections. The change was made in 2015 after a van struck an 89-year-old person as they crossed the street in the downtown district. They used the Vision Zero guidelines adopted by numerous cities, states, and nations seeking to eliminate traffic deaths. It's a thing they came from Sweden, and now Hoboken is now touted as the model to be used by other cities. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, though, the Vision Zero.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. I mean, surely they don't see anything, so that's why they hit the pedestrian, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
so
that
that
makes
would be
sense.
like what? No street parking? Because if you park near on the street, that's usually where pedestrians would get hit, right?
Right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when I've been to England and other places, they do a lot of proactive measures to try and eliminate pedestrians getting hit.
Right.
So traffic deaths isn't people in cars dying, or it's
No,
pedestrian.
it just involves
pedestrian deaths.
Yeah, it involves traffic somehow.
Right.
Somehow. It doesn't have to be two cars colliding. But I mean, I guess it has to have at least one car in there for it to be considered traffic.
I guess, yeah. And I wonder how many we have here.
How many traffic deaths?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Here, my thing from living in San Francisco and spending time in big cities and stuff, I've always been taught this, and that is don't ever rest that a car isn't coming.
Right.
Don't ever believe a car isn't coming down the road. And if you have that mentality that there's always a car, then you will always be proactive. Not like I don't hear a car just because it looks clear. I just assume there's always a car. And some people go, well, I got a light, so it's fine. Plenty of people ignore traffic lights.
All right.
It is a common thing.
It says here that in 2021, Oklahoma had 762 traffic fatalities, which is 1.71 fatalities per 1 million vehicle miles traveled. In 2022, there were 730. Between 2019 and 2022, traffic fatalities in Oklahoma increased by 14%.
I mean, I do feel like we see the headlines here.
Yeah.
In 2022, bicyclists and pedestrian fatalities, which is ultimately what we're talking about in this situation, right? Increased from 19% from 2019, with 7,345 pedestrians killed and 1,068 bicyclists killed.
So apparently,
seems like a lot.
Apparently, Tulsa had 91 pedestrian fatalities and 4 bicycle fatalities.
Wow.
That was through a 5-year span. There were 921 collisions that involved a person walking, running. 346 of those collisions in that 5-year span involving a person riding a bicycle. That included 91 pedestrian fatalities and 4 here in Tulsa.
I'm interested to find out, like, whose fault is that, right? Like, when it comes to the pedestrians and the bicyclists, like, is it the pedestrians and bicyclists
Always
who
the
didn't
car.
see the
Always the
car?
car.
Always, yeah.
It's
You
always
know?
the car.
Mhm. I get it. It's always the car, right? But still, I mean, like, one person wasn't paying attention, had their headphones in, and they're on the street corner jogging
Doesn't
or whatever,
matter.
and then boom, ran out in front of a car.
Doesn't matter.
I get it.
Always the car's fault.
Mhm.
I get it. I get it.
You could argue the other person was stupid,
Right.
Right. Yes. Pedestrians.
but
always have
legally,
the right away.
yeah,
Right.
legally,
Mhm.
don't hit people with your car.
Right. Right.
This feels like a very simple concept. And as much as people are annoyed by bicycles,
Mhm.
same thing.
Right.
You have the superior violent apparatus.
Yeah.
Right.
You have the most responsibility in that matter.
Right. You're a pedestrian, get hit by a bicycle. It might hurt a little bit, but it ain't gonna be. It's not fatal. Shouldn't be anyway.
Probably more dangerous for the person on the bicycle.
Right. Probably.
But the idea of that New Jersey, who's this place where like, trash,
Mhm.
Right.
is actually no. People don't die. They're just fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, you're moving to New Jersey?
Oh, that's so dirty.
Ugh. What are you going to live on the shore?" Apparently, New Jersey's awesome. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Big
To this couch, and the wall that was behind it totally scorched, burnt up. Pictures are on our Facebook page. They ended up arresting the girl. They didn't say what the girl and the mom were fighting over, and they didn't say what led to, her wanting to set the couch on fire. My guess is probably just angry teen and probably had some alcohol involved in there somewhere. That's just my theories on it. Nonetheless, they went ahead and arrested her for arson, and the investigation continues.
So many things on this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't let you get your luggage. Like you went out of the hotel, and then they're like, you can't go back in.
Mhm.
Right.
So you got to go find a place without your stuff.
Right.
Wallet probably.
Right.
Credit cards probably.
Maybe your phone.
And so all you're in is your skirt, your tidy whities or whatever.
So you're talking about the 320 guests that were evacuated. They did let them all go back in. All the guests were allowed to go back into their room and go back to sleep after it was all said and done.
I'm shocked by that because the sprinkler system has gone off,
but just
it flooded the floor.
The lobby area, though. Just the first floor and that lobby area. Anybody
still feels like danger, Will
2
Robinson.
through 9. Oh, I totally get you. Smoke damage, smoke inhalation, whatever. I was surprised that they let them all go back in as well, but that's what they said.
Dude, I was unaware that sprinkler systems in a building go off by floor.
Yeah, I thought it was all automatic
at one time.
everywhere.
Yeah. Maybe this is a different one, but the story did say that they let all 320 guests from everybody that was evacuated go back to their room later on that morning, probably about 5:30 or so. Still, 3:30 in the morning, you woke up, you're probably on vacation.
Sure.
You gotta evacuate. Everybody go meet in the parking lot over there by the fourth
By the Bob Evans
street light.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then you're waiting there for hours. Yeah, after they get everything cleaned up,
Smoke fills the whole place.
Oh yeah. And they're like, you can go back. I'd probably be like, okay, I'm gonna go get my stuff, and I'm gonna check out and go find another place, and then we'll deal with reimbursement after this.
All right. Then the other thing I was thinking about, your kid does this. What do you do?
What's the punishment?
Right. We'll deal with this when we get home.
How old was the girl?
16.
Yeah, like, what do you do?
You're grounded. Grounded.
No
for
screens.
Arson.
Yeah.
Right. She's 16 and went to jail for arson. So chances are this parent or the parents are going to be like, well, she went to jail and she's being charged, and they're probably going to take out the couple $100,000 worth of damage out of her
Right. That's
allowance.
a whole bro. Yeah, right.
Right.
Feels too late. Like, yeah, right. She's
So give up.
already-
Okay. Give up on your kid. Okay.
No. I'm not saying that.
You're a lost cause. I tried.
Yeah,
for
that's what you
6
said. You said
years.
it's too late.
Why don't you go live on the streets with the rest of the crackheads?
No, but I mean, like, it's too late to be like, you're grounded for, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, typically punishments come
What?
after the infraction.
Sure, but she's in
It'd
jail.
be weird. It'd be weird to ground your kid like you're a precog or something for something that hasn't happened yet.
She's in
I don't know what you
jail.
did yet, but you're grounded. I know you're going to do something. You're grounded.
I hope jail kind of wakes her up a bit.
Well, she's not going to jail.
She did. They arrested her.
But she went to juvie,
Right.
Okay.
And she probably may not spend a whole lot of time
which
in
is
there.
which is an education system.
Right.
I mean, there's probably going to be big time fine. She's going to have to go to court.
Her parents will pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She will not be paying. That's what I'm saying. Like, she is going to be released probably to their
Yeah. She'll be paying it back.
supervision.
If she's my kid.
No, she won't be paying back.
If she's my kid, she is. She's
No.
going to be working it off. Hard labor.
For 40 years?
Busting rocks in the backyard.
This isn't you
Yes.
bought her an iPhone.
Right.
Tink.
This is, as Gimpy said, if not 2 commas, it is definitely 100,000.
Mhm.
She would be paying back forever.
Mhm.
You owe me every paycheck for the rest of your life.
Well, that makes no sense
when,
either.
When you retire, I want your retirement. I want your 401k.
See what I'm saying? Like, it just creates all these questions.
There's only 2 ways that you can pass a whiz quiz without using some kind of illegal substance. And that is one.
Broccoli?
No.
Oh.
Just naturally stopping. Okay. And cleaning yourself out. that
Surefire,
way.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's like, abstinence is the only way to guarantee not getting pregnant. Nonetheless,
Mhm.
the other way, which is only good for like an hour or 2, maybe a day, is a flush. And that's just to drink a buttload of water, because when you do that, you're not urinating anything for your test, but just straight water.
Well, that's why when you buy those pee cleans, they're like, drink a ton of water, because it isn't that. It's the flushing. Have you ever taken a marijuana drug test,
Yeah.
Lindsay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I passed.
Okay, what's the story?
I
Like,
just for a background check for a job, but I
in
don't.
radio?
Yeah. Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. The first radio station I ever worked at in South Dakota.
Huh.
Yeah. But at the time, I mean, I was 20 years old, so I wasn't really into pot so much, so it wasn't a big deal.
I didn't do the marijuana at the time.
And also, yes, I had to take one when I started substitute teaching. So back in Indiana, I had to take one. And again, I wasn't even back then a heavy pot smoker, so it wasn't enough like in my system to even.
Are you a
worry
heavy
about
pot
it.
smoker now?
No, I'm
okay.
not.
Well, I just
So-
you were implying that you
Yeah,
weren't, so I didn't
yeah.
know if you were
So
now.
I've never
More of a
had
pot
to
eater.
worry about it. Yeah, it's never been in my system enough to even worry about it.
Gimpy, you said 1. How many have you taken total in your whole?
1 to get a job at Target.
Huh.
No, excuse me. I just lied to you. Sorry. The other job, 2, as a matter of fact. 1 to get a job at Target, and the other one was to get a job when I was selling parts, the job that I had before I got here. And I had failed that one. I had tried. I was like, all right.
I love that you put some sympathy tone on it. Like, I tried.
I did. I quit for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, all right, that should be good enough, right? THC absorbs in your fat cells. I'm not a heavy guy, so therefore I thought it would flush it out a lot, sooner. It wouldn't stick around in my body as long as it did. So a couple of weeks go by. I'm like, all right, bet I'm good. And I go down there and I take their whiz quiz, and it comes back. You tested positive for the marijuana,
And you hadn't smoked in how long?
It'd been a couple of weeks. I completely
It
stopped.
can hang. Hold on.
Mhm.
I thought that was like recent. I didn't think whiz was weeks.
No, it's the THC absorbs in your fat cells, so it stays in there for a while. And if you're a bigger, heavier dude and a heavy smoker, and that's another thing you got to think of, heavy smoker I was. But so therefore I thought, okay, a couple of weeks, I'm not a fat guy, I should be good, not taking into account the amount that I put into my body on a daily basis. Okay, so I failed that one, and they're like, all right, we'll give you another shot, but you got to wait for 6 months. You got
Wow.
to get the job.
to take another whiz quiz. So I was like, all right, fine.
6 months hardly makes sense.
That's what they told me, and I was like, bro, I really wanted this job.
So did you start the job, and then in 6 months they tested you?
No, I couldn't get the job until they tested me, and I tested positive. So for 6 months, I go straight. I quit completely for those 6 months.
Impressive.
And I know,
Very
right?
much so.
And so I took my test, I passed it with flying colors, and then I started back up again. And I tell you what, it has not been the same since. The very first time I got roasted after not doing it for 6 months, I was like, it messed with my mind so much. I was like, this is not what I remember it being. Oh, it's because my tolerance dropped. I was like, well, I guess we're just going to have to build it back up. But you're talking, from 16 to 25. So 9 years of just steady smoking all day, every day. My tolerance was way up there. So I was like, I guess we'll have to start all over again.
Challenge accepted.
Yep.
I worked at The Edge, and the company that owned them in another market, they own a newspaper service, and the newspaper, one of the delivery guys that delivered the paper in the morning to, the stands or whatever, hit a kid and killed a kid, and they tested him, and he was high. So they were like, we're drug testing everyone. And so they instituted a drug policy where you had to do a random drug testing. I go to London to see Kings of Leon. And then when I come back, they call me into the office like right away.
Right.
And they're like, hey, and I was friends with the business manager. He's like, hey, you have 24 hours after I hand this to you to go take a drug test. Would you like me to hand it to you? And I was like, no. And he's like, all right, tomorrow morning I have to hand it to you. So whatever you need to get taken care of.
Right.
And so, good morning. It's the Big Nine Morning Show. I have made fun of Patrick Mahomes, and he has a voice like Kermit the Frog. This is probably one of my favorite ones. If I can get it to play correctly here. This is probably one of my favorite ones.
Here. I'm here.
Right? I love it. It's so funny, right?
Yeah.
And then I see this over the weekend, and this is a woman who, her name is Femke Bal. She's from the Netherlands. She broke the world record 400-meter indoor in track, and we normally don't talk about it, but some might think she's Mickey Mouse.
When you're putting your mind to it, you know exactly what to do indoors. How was that for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was such a strong race. We were all running so fast, multiple running in the 50, so I knew I had to go out fast. I'd look in front of me, so I wanted to be in front, and I could hear how far she was behind me, so I was like, okay, this is good, now we keep going, and
that's real?
That is hilarious.
That is not altered. That's why I thought it was important to play the interviewer asking the question so you can hear for yourself.
When you're putting your mind to it, you know exactly what to do indoors. How was that for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean,
I wish she would just start every sentence with, hi.
Right.
That would be so funny.
When you're putting your mind to it, you know exactly what to do indoors. How was that for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean,
listen, I'm not taking away. That's an running like that is not for the weak-minded.
No, not at all.
The strain you put your body through, and then sorry. That's what I look for. Whether it's my favorite person, Patrick Mahomes, or Femke Bal from the Netherlands.
When you're putting your mind to it, you know exactly what to do indoors. How was that for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was such a strong race. We were all running so fast.
I mean, if she breaks an ankle or something, she's got an incredible future as a voice actor.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
But you know exactly what to do indoors. How was that for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was such a strong race. We were
Oh, my goodness. Big 12 action around the Lone Star State rolls on this week. Number 14 Baylor hosts Texas tonight in Waco. The Bears enter at 21-8, while the Longhorns sit at 19-10. Texas Tech visits Oklahoma State tomorrow night. The Red Raiders are 20-9. Elsewhere, top-ranked Houston is on the road to challenge UCF on Wednesday. The Cougars have won 7 straight to enter at 26-3. TCU is traveling to take on West Virginia on Wednesday night. The Horned Frogs have lost 2 in a row to enter at 19-10. Iowa women's basketball superstar Caitlin Clark is now the NCAA all-time scoring leader. She scored her 18th point in Iowa's game against Ohio State on a free throw just before the end of the first half to break Pistol Pete Maravic's all-time NCAA scoring record on Sunday. She set the new record just weeks after breaking Kelsey Plum's all-time women's NCAA scoring record. In addition, ticket prices for Sunday's game shattered the record for most expensive women's basketball game, college or WNBA ever, with the cheapest ticket on resale sites going for around $400. Clark is also already causing a jump in ticket prices for the WNBA's Indiana Fever, who have the first pick in the draft. Ticket resale site Vivid Seats says the average ticket price for Fever games has doubled compared to last year since Clark announced she's going pro.
When they played Northwestern, I believe, ticket prices were $11.
Yeah.
With another 22.
No, 100 and something was the price. And then as far as her getting, she would have gotten the points either way if she wouldn't have shot the free throws. But she is one of these players that she's so likable, but also so unlikable. She flops so much in the free throw that she got the point record on, which, by the way, sat dormant for 50 years. No one thought it was ever going to get broken. And it's the end of the half, like 3 seconds, I think, left on 0.3 seconds left on the clock. And players, they were kind of rubbing, how players do when they're walking off the court and they kind of just give each other an elbow, just push each other away or whatever. And she did it, and then the other girl did it back, and Caitlin flopped her arms in the air, and they called a technical. And you're like, come on, that is hardly a technical.
Right.
And so she shot some of the free throws, and that put her over the edge of the points. And you got, whether you like her or not, she has brought so much attention in the best possible way to women's basketball. And watching them play, they took on the number 2 team in the country, Iowa did, and whooped them. Whooped them.
She's doing amazing things for women's basketball.
Not only is her ability to score, but in this game in particular, they had her locked down. So she just passed off like crazy, and her team carried it.
Right.
So it's not just her carrying the whole team. It was pretty exciting to watch.
And going into Saturday night's game against the Denver Nuggets, LeBron James needed just 9 points to hit the 40,000 career points mark. A layup in the second quarter at the 10:39 mark got him there. James ended the game with 26 points in the 124-114 Lakers loss for a career total of 40,017 points. James's milestone coincidentally happened on the 62nd anniversary of Wilt Chamberlain's legendary 100-point game. And Kyle Larson took home the checkered flag in the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The driver of the number 5 car dominated the race, leading 181 of 267 laps to secure his first win of the NASCAR Cup Series season. Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, and Ty Gibbs rounded out the top 5 finishers. Daniel Suarez, who won last weekend's Ambetter Health 400, finished in 11th place. The field rolls into Phoenix Raceway next weekend for the Shriners Children's 500. And that's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite.
What?
Okay.
An expert in airlines and airplanes gives, he predicts that by the year 2023, gasoline as a motive power will have been replaced by radio.
Okay.
And the skies will be filled with a myriad aft going over well-verified routes. So he's not wrong, by the way. This is actually happening and true. The belief that we just didn't understand then how radio waves would affect airplanes.
Right.
Now we know that not to be a problem unless it's your cell phone.
Turn it off.
All people will be beautiful by 2023. I present at least 2 cases, Your Honor.
Be nice to Lindsay.
Life expectancy will be 100 years.
What? People are dying earlier and earlier, man.
No,
No.
Cut that in half.
no. Life expectancy will be 300 years.
Oh,
my
Jesus.
gosh.
People will wear kidney cozies.
A kidney
What
cozy.
the hell?
Yes, kidney cozies will be worn to protect the kidneys on chilly days, just the same as a teapot in the north is kept warm by a tea cozy.
Okay. Do your kidneys get colder than the rest of your body?
No, but again, when they were doing medicine, one, there weren't doctors like what we know doctors to be now. People would just be like, I'm a doctor.
Right.
Right? And they used to drill holes in women's heads to
Right.
let out demons. And they thought washing your hands meant you weren't a good doctor.
Right.
The idea was that the bloodstained hands would prove you knew how to do the work.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So men will curl their hair. Yeah, that's been happening for a while.
Yeah.
The old man perm.
The U.S. will have a population of 300 million.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think we surpassed that one.
Yeah. Now I have 8 billion.
Fornicating is
It's-
fun.
It's in 2021, it was 331 million. So it's not a giant. It's not that far. Canada will have a population of 100 million.
Okay. I don't know what the population of Canada is, but I'm sure it's more than that. More than
38.2 million.
Yeah.
Utensils will be made of pulp.
Pulp. Okay.
Utensils and dwellings will be manufactured largely of pulp and cements so as to utilize vegetation and stone in every stage of decay, ordinary waste, or unfitness. I mean, it's not wrong, right? Like MDF is a real product.
Uh-huh.
That's pulp, essentially, right?
Yeah. 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 I just don't know if I want to live in a house that's made of pulp and cements.
Flights from Chicago to Hamburg will only take 18 hours.
I've never flown from Chicago to Hamburg, so I do not know.
I think it's like 8 or 10, maybe.
Okay.
Newspapers will have been out of business for 50 years.
Wow. I mean,
They didn't get
they're half right.
Yeah.
Private kitchens will disappear.
Private kitchens.
Yeah, they're citing articles, by the way. I'm reading from an article.
Okay.
The private kitchen will disappear. Tomorrow's food will be seasoned and prepared by chemical formulas.
Hello, fresh.
Which will preserve the freshness of fruits and meats, rid them of indigestible qualities, and send them to the table ready to use. Instead of sauces that merely cozen the palate, we shall have delectable blends of concentrated vitamins, calories, ferments, and tissue tonics.
Ew.
I mean, we have all that now, right?
Yeah, we do.
Look at like Frank's.
Yeah.
It is a tissue tonic,
Mhm.
Okay.
if you will. The tissue of your tongue.
I got it. Okay.
Cancer will be eradicated.
I wish.
Cancer, tuberculosis, infantile paralysis, locomotor ataxia, and leprosy will be eradicated.
I don't think any of those are eradicated at all whatsoever.
I mean, we pretty much handled tuberculosis pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I'm sure we got a good
And
handle on
leprosy.
leprosy.
I think
but,
leprosy's, got
Yeah.
you know, but there's still places in the world. When you say eradicated, I'm thinking it's like gone completely from the world, nowhere around it all whatsoever. Now, I'm sure there's third world countries where TB's still a thing, where leprosy's still a thing.
War will be wireless, and we might have telepathy or telepathy.
I like telepathic idea, but I mean, wireless, think about it.
War is
Cyber
wireless.
It is
yeah.
wireless.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People will communicate using watch-size radio telephones.
Wow.
Watched size radio.
I can answer the phone on my watch.
Yes,
I can
you
answer the
can.
phone on mine.
How fun are those, huh?
Yeah.
So they weren't too far off. Now, here's the problem with a thread like this.
Mhm.
Where's the ones that were way off,
Mm-hmm.
Right, of course.
right?
Of course. But they don't want those. Those aren't as interesting.
And they're only showing by 2023. I can't cite when what year that came out of.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just whatever the thread. Again, anything on the internet, man, you might as well just go with not true.
Right.
You're like, that might be true. Probably not. Might
Mhm.
be. Right? I was in a little Twitter conversation with somebody about the Twitter files.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's definitely some corruption being illustrated in those files. But one, Elon Musk picked which articles to release.
Mhm.
Two, picked the reporters to have go through them and release them. And he's hardly the most honest individual. And corruption, being in corporate America, is hardly a gotcha moment.
Right. Kind of been going on for a long time.
Yeah. This says, I'm about to get divorced from my wife of 10 years because I made a stupid mistake and had a one-night stand. We got in an argument. I left, went to the bar, slept with some woman, and almost immediately the guilt took over me. She has told me it's over, but I have to try. What can I do to get her to give our marriage a second chance? 918-460-KMOD. BMMS. Then whatever you think he should do to 82945. Let's entertain the idea. What are some things he could do? How about a vacation?
Ooh.
You and me, let's have a vacation. Let's go to some beautiful exotic place and talk out my inability to keep my penis in my pants.
Yeah.
Having kids usually fixes that
Some
situation.
that maybe if you're lucky, you'll get to do that.
Vacations are nice. Absolutely.
Can you work on a
But
problem on a vacation, Lindsay?
I don't think so. Because
This
once
isn't a
you get
problem. This is a
back-
crack in the foundation.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because once you get back, everything's right there, you know? Yeah.
What are some other
And
things he could try?
I think he
Entertain the
begs,
idea.
goes
No
on
bad ideas.
hands and knees and
Begs?
what do you want me to I will do anything you want me to do.
Yeah. Horrible way to get into a conversation with somebody, right? And this is why. Because you want to fix it, you have to come up with ideas. Not me.
Mm-hmm.
You want to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to tell you how to fix your problem?
Mm-hmm.
Not just this, any scenario, if you have to go to the person and be like, tell me what I have to do to fix this, then you shouldn't be in it. It's a horrible way to get into a conversation with somebody to try and rectify a problem. Because it means you don't know. You haven't even entertained ideas.
Right.
How about a candlelight dinner?
That's
not
good
enough.
and gravy and all, but the distractions there, man. You're not going to be able to enjoy your candlelight dinner. You know, you're not going to be able to do much of anything fun, a vacation or anything like that, because you know there's a giant elephant in the room.
Again, we're just trying to convince for a second chance. What about a spa day?
Sure. I'll go ahead and let you spend your money on me so I can go and feel better.
Yeah, is he
about
going to send
myself.
her on a spa day? I know. I think he needs to go to her and.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. Happy 39th birthday to porn star Angela White. You can check out this busty vixen in hits like Big Boob Paradise. Bury the penis and oil her up. She was still in high school when she entered the adult industry. She was 18.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, that doesn't seem right at all. Hey, good morning, Corbin. You head on over to, iHeartRadio.com/awards. That's where you can help pick the winners for this year's iHeartRadio Music Awards. Some of the nominees are Taylor Swift, Jelly Roll. There's a whole lot more. Check it out. Make your vote. It's going down April 1st.
Joining us in the studio from Hensley & Associates is Jeff Hensley. He's here to answer any question you have about divorce, custody, guardianship, name change, adoption, adult adoptions, any things that have to do with family law. He can answer them, and you have a couple ways to get your question to us. Email address show@kmod.com. You can text BMMS and whatever the question is to 82945. Or you can call it 918-460-KMOD. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, good morning.
We got a text this morning that I wanted to go back to.
Sure.
And it says that the worst part of their weekend was their crackhead sister signed their rights to their kids over to her crackhead boyfriend's sister, and they have no relation. Is that legal? Can one sign over their rights to another individual?
Only through an adoption. So if there was not an actual adoption in this, it's not legal. And in fact, I had I've got a case going on right now where I get an email about so-and-so is ready to sign their rights away. Well, that's great, but there's no adoption. So you see, in the state of Oklahoma, it used to be, and this is a long time ago, you used to be able to sign your rights away. And then the legislature said, we here in Oklahoma just don't think that's right. And so they changed the law where you can't just sign your rights away. Just like, in Oklahoma, you can't just drop your kid off at a fire station like some states and expect your kid to be taken care of. So unless there's an actual adoption where you have signed. Now, even in signing your rights away, understand it's not just about at least for moms especially, it's not just about a piece of paper. Okay, you've got to go in a case of a mother giving up her rights. All right, I'm not talking about default AWOCs or adoptions without consent hearings and things like that. I'm talking about a mother saying, I'm willing to sign my rights away so you can adopt this child. That mother has to go before a judge. There has to be a whole laundry list of questions asked. It's got to be done physically on the record so it can be printed out and put in the adoption file for all eternity. And so it's not as simple as just a piece of paper. There's really a lot of misconceptions about signing rights away. It's not as easy as it sounds, again, unless there's an adoption. But even then, there's hoops you have to jump through to be able to make it legal. So, I wish I could email everybody or somebody, and explain it all. But, I answer these same questions day in and day out just because there's such a big misconception about signing rights away.
So is it safe to say that you can't sign your rights away as a parent unless you are in front of a judge? You have to go in front of a judge to do that.
Typically, yes, that is correct.
And
there are exceptions, but yes, that's correct.
And they don't have the baby box here at fire stations in Oklahoma?
No, we don't. No, none in the state of Oklahoma. That's in other states.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, again, we're a very family centered state, and so they don't have those kind of things.
What if we put a baby in a box and then put that out there by the fire truck? Does that count?
No, that's called bad. Don't do that. Don't do that.
And I know a lot of people are saying, well, I can do it. You can't stop me. What would be a problem legally you could get into if you do a kitchen table agreement with another parent to take over your kids?
Well, I mean, and again, we run into this with guardianships as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, okay? I think it's wonderful that there are people out there that are willing to take children upon them and say, I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to raise them so that they're not in the system and blah, blah, blah. I commend you people for doing that. But understand, all right, I'm a lawyer, so I've got to tell you what the legal aspects of it are. Without a signed document from a judge saying that you are a guardian for that child or that you have adopted that child, unless you've got a power of attorney, it gives you rights to take them to the doctor and take them to school and enroll them in school and do all those sorts of things. You don't have the right to do those things. Now, are there schools and doctors that take those kind of appointments and don't ask for those kind of documents? Yes. Okay, I'm not saying there's not, but I will tell you, my experience has been over 15 years of doing this, is that is diminishing the number of clinics and hospitals and you name it, urgent cares, ERs, whatever, that is diminishing in regards to just taking them without proof as to who's bringing them in.
Yeah.
Okay. Because of legal aspects, because of lawsuits, because of all sorts of things. So everybody's having to, double check their I's and double check their T's and lowercase J's, as Wayne's World would say. So it's one of those things that those people are not going to get in trouble. They're going to do everything they can to prevent that. So they're going to stop doing those sorts of things. So be aware.
The thing that bothers me with it is you probably could get away with it. You probably could go by without having to get involved with the court. But the time that it comes to fruition, it could be really nasty and not healthy for everybody involved.
Potentially, yeah.
And to me, that's the chaos you should want to avoid.
Right. But again, a lot of people have the hang up of, well, I can't afford a guardianship. I can't afford to do an adoption. I don't know how to do this or where to do that. Give us a call. We work with people on, payment plans and all that kind of stuff to get this stuff done, but do it the right way. Don't do it. Yes, the easy way is the easy way, right? But it's not the correct way. It's not the legal way. So give us a call.
Jeff Hensley's joining us from Hensley & Associates. You have a question about divorce, custody, guardianship, any of those things. Call right now with your question, 918-460-KMOD, or you can text your question, BMMS, and whatever that is, to the phone number 82945. This one says, we currently have temporary shared legal custody and a temporary parenting agreement where she spends every other weekend, every other Wednesday from 6:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the other 2 Wednesdays in the month, she stays overnight into Thursday morning. Recently, I filled out an application to enroll her in preschool as soon as they are available. Am I violating the agreement by not asking his input on the preschool? Also, I'd like to not have her going to her dad's during the week as it's taking a toll on her when I have to get her ready by 6 a.m. Is this a good enough reason? Also, I'm concerned about when she starts school, as some days she won't be in school because she will be with her dad.
Okay, so there's several things. Let's unpack them slowly. All right, the first is the preschool. Any decision you make like that should be a joint decision, okay? Any what we call life-altering decision is a joint decision that has to be made by the parties. So we're not, again, I always tell people it's not about runny noses and COVID and flu and things like that. We're talking about, school choices and extracurricular activities, religion, major surgeries, major, psychological things, whatever those may be. School falls under that, and that includes preschool. So her enrolling the child without talking to him, not a good idea to start. All right. You should say to him, look, I think we need to put our child in preschool, and here's why. And they need to make a joint decision on that particular issue. So that's step one. Yes. Don't do it without talking to him. Not a good idea.
She would be violating
the joint custody plan. Correct. Yes. Potentially. Yes. Or definitely. So the second part of that is about
keeping the kid there at her house.
A visitation schedule is set for a reason. All right. And that is because, and understand any custody plan, whether it be a temporary one or a final decree of any sort, it is always to give the parties something to fall back on. So in other words, most people start there, and then it's an organic document in the sense that they can agree to change it or to modify it or to give more time or to whatever they need to based upon a joint agreement. Okay, it's an organic document. It's meant to grow with the parties over time. Now, are there bumps in the road? Absolutely. Okay, that's just life. So that's why the custody plan is always there to fall back on should you need it. But, you should follow it and not make unilateral decisions. If you want to change something, especially when you're only at a temporary order phase, there's ways to modify that through the court system. Is getting the kid up at 6 a.m. a good enough reason? No. Okay. Judges don't care that it's 6 a.m. You might get a judge that's upset about 3 a.m., 4 a.m., but 5, 6, 7 a.m., judges don't think that's a problem. All right. Not that I've ever been in front of, never heard any judge say, well, that's too early. Okay. I've never heard any judge do that. In fact, I've heard some judges say, well, I get my kids up at 5 o'clock and I have for 5 years. So deal with it. I've heard judges actually say those kind of things. So that's not a good enough reason. No. And what was the third thing?
The third thing was
the very last part. I'm sorry.
Concerned about when she starts school. Some days she won't be in school because she'll be with her dad.
Well, once she starts school, if she's with her dad is required to take her to school. All right. So she's not just going to go over there and say, okay, I don't have to go to school now. No, if the kid is supposed to be in school, dad has to take her to school.
In this scenario, what is the dad's options if the the other co-parent does something like this? What ramifications do you have?
Well, you mean making unilateral decisions and things like that?
Yeah, like the decision's already made and telling you how it's going to be.
Yeah, so there's contempt citations that can be filed, to hold the person's feet to the fire and say, look, the order was this, and she decided to make these unilateral decisions on her own. Okay, so there's contempt citations, there's motions to modify. There are things to be done in front of a judge should this behavior continue. So whoever sent this in, please don't violate your order, or you potentially will have those things filed against you. And that doesn't work well in your favor in front of a judge. So don't do it.
What's the process? So if she goes ahead and just puts the kid in school and he then starts the process of not following the order. School is started. They're not just going to yank the kid out of school or change the school, right?
No, not likely. It'd be very unlikely for that to happen. What would happen is whoever would be held in contempt of court potentially, there'd be a motion to modify visitation or, decision making, whatever it may be. I mean, again, there are options depending upon everybody's specific scenarios and what's going on and specific facts. I mean, there's not just a blanket, this is what you do in every single case. I mean, are there certain things that are very similar in every case? Potentially. But again, as I've always said, every time we do this is that everybody's case is individual. Why? Because you're different than your friend. You're different than your sister. You're different than your brother. You're different than your mom. You're different than your dad. I mean, everybody, the people involved in the case is what makes each case so unique.
But are some parties savvy enough to know the ramifications aren't enough to deter you from just trying to get what you want?
There might be some out there that have been in the system long enough through different ways that could have that information, yes. But again, there's ways to handle those people in front of a judge. Absolutely. But you'll need people like us to be able to hold their feet to the fire.
That's an excellent point. So if you have a party that is savvy is the word I'm choosing to use, but knows that maybe they could, quote, get away with it with the punishment not being too severe.
Or try to.
An officer of the court, representative of the court like yourself, would be able to know how to hold them to the fire a little closer.
Correct.
Rather than just an easy misunderstanding.
Correct.
Jeff Hensley's joining us from Hensley & Associates. You got a question about divorce, custody, guardianship, any of those things, he can answer the questions right now. 918-460-KMOD. This says, I just filed for divorce. We have our first court date coming up. How do I get support from him until the divorce is final?
So typically what we do is we file for temporary spousal support is the way that happens, or it's awarded during a temporary order phase, or hearing, I should say, or the parties agree to it. So there are motions to be filed to be able to get that. And of course, in the state of Oklahoma, when we talk about support, remember, all right, we're not like other states. We base it on two things. A, you have to show a need, an actual physical need, and it's not the necessarily to keep you in a lifestyle that you're accustomed to. Okay, that works in other states. That's the language in other states. And that's not our language. Our language is, do you have an actual physical need? So if you've been a stay-at-home mom forever and you're getting divorced and you haven't worked in 15 years, do you need help until you can get, a new degree or get a job or whatever? Absolutely. So we need to get some support going. All right. Now, if you've only been together like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, your need is not going to be able to be shown typically. Okay. That's too little of a time. All right. So, there's not a time component, but there is a time component in the sense of you have to show a need, and being together and not working for a year or two is not considered need per se. So you got to be careful about that. Once you've shown need, you've got to show that the other side has the ability to pay. So if you're trying to get spousal support from somebody who only makes minimum wage, they're not going to have the ability to pay. All right. More than likely. So you've got to look. That's why every case is unique on these things. And that's why they base it upon everybody's individual facts. Is you've got to show, again, need and ability to pay. Those are the two things that are done here in Oklahoma. And we are not a lifetime alimony state. If you want that, go to Florida. All right. There are some other states that do that, but it's becoming the rarity. And there's even talk of Florida abolishing it. So with that being said, that's alimony.
Jeff Hensley's in the studio. Got a question? 918-460-KMOD. Jeremy's on. Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
I'm good.
What question do you have for Jeff Hensley?
Okay, so I got a court order that says that I'm supposed to have visitation with my children every other weekend, 2 weeks during the summer, yada, yada. I'm paying my child support. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but she's withholding my right for visitation, even any attempt at communication.
All right, so she needs to be held in contempt of court. We need to file a motion to enforce visitation. Give your name and number to Gimpy, please, and I will call you about this. But the big thing for the listeners is that when people do these things is that we have ways to enforce the order that says, look, court, I'm supposed to have visitation. She's not letting me have visitation or contact. The good thing about a motion to enforce visitation is it has to be heard within 10 days of it being filed. So that's why there's a quick relief for doing that as opposed to just filing a contempt citation for her failure to give you what you've been ordered by the court. So that's why we always file that one in addition to a contempt. So, we can hold her to the fire and say, look, you're not doing that. Does she give a reason as to why she's being a pain in the butt?
No, not really. She
She's
shut
just
everything off.
she's just mean. Okay. I mean, the reason I ask these things is sometimes they give reasons like, well, I don't think you're a fit dad, or you do this, or you do that, or whatever. And then sometimes it's just, screw you. And that may be here. So if you give your name or number to Gimpy, I will give you a call today or tomorrow, and we will get something going for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Hang on a second. Why do guys typically not do anything? Do they just not know they can do something? Do they think the other party, they just don't want to make it worse with the other party?
I think it's all of that involved. I mean, sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's they've represented themselves and they don't know where to go next or what to do next. I mean, that's why we love representing dads and mom. I mean, even moms on this, where you've been denied. I mean, if you've been denied your court-ordered visitation, the other side better have a very damn good reason as to why they're not doing it. Okay?
Judges aren't a big fan.
No, I mean,
of you not
again,
following the order.
and this is what I try to tell everybody. And I know some people just thumb their noses at orders. Okay, whatever. Right? That's a dumb thing to do, but there are people that do that. But a judge's attitude is, look, there is a signed order by a judge, whether it's me as a judge, not me, but the judge talking as a judge or somebody else. Once an order has been filed and put in place, it needs to be followed. Period. It's there for a reason. Which kind of, to me, kind of seems like a duh kind of deal. But there are people out there that obviously don't like to follow orders, and it's because they have the attitude of, well, no one's going to tell me what to do with my kid. I don't even care if it's a judge. Well, go ahead, keep that attitude up. The judge will change custody, and you'll be the one that has so much less time with your kids. So, again, we've talked about this again. If you're a custodial parent, whether it be a primary custodial parent or a sole custodial parent, you have a responsibility to make sure that visitation is occurring with the other side, period. Get off your power trip, because judges don't like power trips. And judges, I've seen them change custody because people are on power trips.
Shockingly to the other party? Like they're surprised?
Yeah, they're like, you good. Well, like, heck, I can't do that. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You've been denying this visitation. You've been denying this. You've caused this. You've interfered with this. I mean, yeah. Be careful. Get off the power trip.
Devin is on hold. Devin, what's your question for Jeff Hensley of Hensley and Associates?
Yeah. So my kid's dad done something really bad, decided to hold up some officers at gunpoint, and is now in jail. Does he have any rights at all?
Well, are there any orders from a court giving him custody or visitation or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
We were living we were living together, sharing custody 50-50.
Well, that may be, but
he's done this.
you guys were never married, correct? It sounds like.
No.
All right. So, in this, I don't care what. First of all, great. I commend you for working with him. All right, but in the state of Oklahoma, under Title 10, subsection 7700, that's our paternity statute. It says, and I paraphrase, "Mom's got sole custody until dad does something about it." So, in Oklahoma, unless there's an order that states otherwise, he doesn't have any custody or visitation rights anyway. So, with him doing what he did was obviously very stupid, and he probably will go to jail for a while. You've got custody of whatever you want to do with your kids, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right, Devin, see you later.
Have a good day.
We've never talked about that. When you're in you have a situation with a child and the other party gets in a criminal act and gets jailed. What things do you need to do to start protecting your children in that moment?
Well, I mean, and again, it depends. I mean, if you've got an existing order out there and something happens, we move in if it's a danger to the children. Okay, remember, when you file emergency custody in Oklahoma, you've got to show that the children are an immediate, irreparable harm. So in other words, something so bad that if you don't pull them out of it or prevent them from going to it, something really bad's going to happen. Okay. So for example, if, a parent, and I say parent because it's not always dads, all right? Sometimes it's a flipped situation, but when a parent is arrested for drugs, okay. And it depends. I mean, it's different when you've got marijuana versus heroin, cocaine, meth, that kind of stuff, right? But my point of it is that you've got to show there's immediate irreparable harm to get the emergency custody first and foremost. But, if you're in a situation where there's not any orders and you're the mom, you've got sole custody anyway under the law. And, again, I commend people that can get along and do 50-50 and share joint custody decision-making and stuff like that. That's awesome. But, when situations like this occur in that particular scenario, all right, when you're not married and there's no orders, moms, you've got sole custody. So that's just the way it is. Now, in the case of a divorce, it's a little different, obviously, because, well, that'd be a whole nother segment, I think, but we can talk about that later.
I just think it doesn't come up. You see these stories of people and then something bad happens, and how quick do you have to move to protect your children?
And again, if you've got existing orders, you've got to move quick. And if not, and it's a paternity case, moms, you've got sole custody.
You had custody before. There's no, you don't have to do anything.
There's nothing you have to do, right?
Libby's going to be our last one. Libby, what's your question for Jeff Hensley of Hensley and Associates?
My question is, the children have been in custody. We're going to assist him for 2.5 years. After 2.5 years, I've had him for 6 years. He's been out of prison for 2 years. He signed over his rights. He has no, in front of the judge and everything. And now he's trying to fight me for custody.
If he signed over his rights and his rights were terminated at a juvenile court, he doesn't have any rights to them in any way, shape, or form. There's no way he could get custody unless, I mean, there might be, I just don't see a judge granting anything simply because he terminated his own rights. I mean, he signed it over and terminated, which you can do in a juvenile court. When there's been a deprived child action and those sort of things, that's one of the exceptions to the rules. But has he filed something? I mean, or is he just threatening?
Yes, he has filed. We went to court. He hired a lawyer, and when I was supposed to be subpoenaed, and I never did. They were going to subpoena me at court when I went with my daughter, and they didn't. And they were trying to say the tribe. They were adopted, non-family, non-tribal, out of state, and I can't believe it happened, but I'm glad it did. But the adopted parents wanted rid of them ASAP. I had fought for them tooth and nail. I got them. And
you've got a lot.
He hired a lawyer.
You've got a lot going on. I would love to talk to you. If you'll give your name and number to Gimpy, I will call you later today and we'll talk about your situation because there's just too much to unpack here on the few seconds we have left on our segment. So give your name and number to Gimpy and I will call you.
Thank you.
Hang on, don't go anywhere. It can be so tough to navigate these. You pointed out that, hey, every situation is different. If two people are in the same room, if you have two clients back to back, they're both for custody, dramatically different experiences. And that's why you need to do this on your own and not trust Google or your friend Nancy. He's going to help you. And the people at the office of Hensley and Associates are going to help you. That's why they've set up that free consultation. If you mention KMOD or the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-398-5692, 918-398-5692 for Hensley and Associates. And you guys practice not just in family law, you do work in other areas of the law.
So through our office in Pawhuska, don't worry about it being up there. We still do the work in any other counties. But, you know, if you got any sort of criminal issue going on, I don't care what it is, even if it's a minor thing, give us a call. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you've been hurt by somebody in the medical profession, if you need a contract drawn up, if you need a will, trust, estate thing drawn up, give us a call. I mean, anything and everything above family law, in addition to family law, they do up there. So please give us a call. We would love to help you out and make sure you're taken care of.
Hensley and Associates, 918-398-5692. Jeff, have a great week.
Hey, you too.
We'll be back.
Extremely stale bread that you chip a tooth on every time you eat it. That's a 0.
Let's see. Let's get it. Spaghetti and meatball. Ravioli.
Lindsay?
6.
Only if it's Chef Boyardee. Which actually his name was Chef Boyardee, but we had to Americanize
Yeah. Give me your rating, Mr. Wikipedia.
1.
Tortellini.
4.
2.
Peppers and onions.
That's it. Like no sausage to put them on.
Sausage, peppers, and onions. It's typically
like a bun, you know? I mean, I guess with the sausage, peppers, and onions, I give it like a 3, 4, maybe even.
Fettuccine carbonara.
What's the carbonara part?
Bacon.
Oh.
That's a 5.
What?
1.
Eggplant parmigiana.
Yeah, that's 8.
That's a big 0 for me, homie.
Meatball sub.
Oh, God.
5.
This is getting worse and worse the further we go down. 0, man. That stuff is too messy. It doesn't eat well. You have to have a fork to eat a sandwich. I think that's retarded.
Oh, I liked it. Gnocchi.
What? Huh? Oh, okay. I've had that come in like a HelloFresh or something like that once. And I was like, what is this? What is this garbage?
Oh, you didn't enjoy it?
Lindsay.
5.
0.
Oh, my gosh.
I know it sounds crazy, but like when it comes to like the Big Ten of restaurants and foods and stuff, Italian's at the bottom of that list for me, man.
Somebody texted in and said, you think Zio's is delicious? You got to try Luigi's and Skytook. So authentic. I think it's run by the actual Italian mob. I've had Luigi's and Skytook. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I like, it's not like I go to Zio's and I order one of everything.
Right.
Right. I worked there after college and their 5 cheese pasta, adding chicken to it was so good.
Yeah.
Their spinach artichoke dip, which isn't Italian, whatever, but it was so good.
Mm-hmm. I just like the brown paper on the tables that give you crayons.
The cannoli, yeah, I know how to write my name upside down. Cannoli, with the Alfredo and the chicken stuff, so good there.
I'll give you that. I'll give you the Italian dish, the cannoli. That's delicious, just because it's cheese and powdered sugar.
No. That's the dessert.
I know.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
That's the only Italian food that I really, 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 really like is a good old cannoli.
We haven't gotten to the real one. Pizza.
I've said it before, and you all thought I was crazy.
1 to 10.
1 to 10, a pizza. That's going to be a 3 for me. So low on the scale, man.
Lindsay.
10.
Yeah.
Always.
Pretty much all those except peppers and onions that we've mentioned are about anywhere between an 8 and a 10 for me.
Really?
See, I love peppers and onions. I don't love the heartburn, but man, it's almost worth the heartburn for me.
A good bolognese pasta.
Well, Italian food. They are the Beatles for me.
A nice short rib braised ragu.
Ragu, the sauce in a jar.
So it's just no. So good. I'm telling you, man, Italian food.
Man who killed Kevin Bacon charged with 1st-degree murder.
You mean 5th degree?
6th degree?
6th degree?
Yeah. So this happened in Michigan. A judge has decided that Mark Latunsky will face a charge of 1st-degree murder after a degree hearing. The murder degree hearing for Mark Latunsky continued for a 2nd day. This happened last Wednesday. He admitted to killing and mutilating Kevin Bacon, who is 25 years old. In court, he accepted a plea into open murder. The hearing was for the judge to determine if Mark will be sentenced for a charge of 1st-degree or 2nd-degree murder, and the judge decided on the former. Back in 2019, Kevin Bacon, his body was found in Latunsky's home. He and Kevin Bacon met on a dating app, according to investigators. Kevin's body was hung upside down with a slit throat, according to police. Investigators also say that the man's testicles were removed and eaten.
This is a thing. How many
Latunsky.
stories have we read about castrations?
Yeah. At least a small handful that I can think of. I didn't even mean to do that.
I know you didn't. I could tell just by the way you delivered it. Yeah. It feels like we've read. I mean, it happened here in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Some guy come down to meet 2 other guys, and they end up cutting his balls off or something like that.
Yeah.
Is it for fun, or are they, trying to prove a point? I don't get, because me personally, I would never chop my balls off for fun.
No.
Is it a Musa muffin thing? Like you go for a little BDSM, just like tightening, and then there's some menacing people out there, like, I'm just going to slice them off.
Right. Let's see how far we can take this train. Okay.
That doesn't. I cannot piece together these stories. This is one of the stories we do that I'm like, I don't get it.
Right.
I don't get why it happens. I don't get the people that are up for it.
Yeah.
Not that this was a willing participant. We don't know that part.
Right. The only thing that I can think of is obviously there's some kind of mental issue where the person whose balls are chopped off maybe has like a sex addiction or something to that effect, and they think that that's the only way they can get over it. The only way that they can cure themselves is to cut off that part of the body. Yeah. So therefore they won't have that sexual desire anymore, whether it's, raping babies or
like
just,
dogs.
Yeah, that too.
The idea that that's what you do to dogs, so they don't they want to hump.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is more of a Jeffrey Dahmer situation where the guy, they met on a dating app. The guy came over to the guy's house, and they, he ended up tying this guy up.
Yeah, I'm not buying that, because then there would be more. This isn't You know what I'm saying? You don't go, I understand there's a first time for everything, but you're not going to be like, well, I think next time I'm willing to take a step further, get the skillet out.
Right.
Right.
I wonder
That's
if
also,
these taste like.
it's also an important feature.
Mhm.
Did he cook them or did
Right.
he eat them raw?
Right.
Because eating a heart of a deer is not an uncommon thing. Sometimes straight out of it, sometimes cooked.
Right. Even your Rocky Mountain oysters, bull balls, bull butter.
Mhm.
People eat those, but they don't eat them raw.
They don't eat them raw,
No.
right?
As far as I know, they don't. If you do, that makes you a little weird, and I don't think we should be friends anymore.
The
Yeah.
idea that these two crazy people found each other, if that's the case, God, the universe is insane.
Imagine the life
Wow.
they could have had if he would not have died.
I think they had the life they imagined.
He just ended up dead and ballless.
I think again, we don't know the motive of the other person from the story,
Yeah.
but that sounds like that was the motive of this guy. He literally was like, whatever you want to do, Judge.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently, and I dug into this guy a little bit. He had a master's degree. Like he was pretty, like, I mean, he was
The Unabomber had a master's. He was, come on.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Did you get that online nowadays?
Sentencing for him will be held on December 15th.
I saw a thing yesterday online. I don't know if it's true, but you know how they caught the Unabomber? They caught the Unabomber. He was such an elitist. Like he thought he was so much better than everybody else. He couldn't stand the phrase, have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
And because he's like, that makes no sense. He was like, you can't have your cake and then enjoy it like some other phrase.
Yeah.
And so he wrote this manifesto that got printed in the paper. And 460 KMOD. I, as a parent, have a pretty hard and fast rule of my kids will not do sleepovers. Full stop.
Not at all ever?
Not at all.
Okay.
They can go to a sleepover, but I will be picking them up and they will be coming home. They're not staying the night there.
Okay.
Just not going to happen. I have too many friends that work in child sex units for in police departments, and almost all of them come back to one scenario, and it's sleepovers.
Right.
Happens more often than not.
Okay.
So I'm not a giant fan of them. People in my life I know that have been through some sort of sexual trauma all connect it back to a sleepover. And so for me, it's enough signs for me to do all I can to try and stop it at that level, right?
Right.
Now, when they're older, 16, 17, maybe that's a different story.
But as they're little, no way.
No way.
Okay.
And I found a story to kind of keep that in mind. Remind me that is my hard and fast rule. Where a dad had 12-year-old girls at his house for a sleepover for his daughter. And he laced their smoothies and then creeped over them, according to police.
Oh, God.
He drugged his daughter's young friends with sedatives. And as they drifted to sleep, he was a predator. One of the three 12-year-old girls texted her mom with a desperate plea for help at 1:45 in the morning as she lost consciousness and begged to be rescued from their home outside of Portland. Mom, please pick me up and say I had a family emergency. I don't feel safe. I might not respond, but please come get me. Crying emoji. Please pick me up. Please. Michael Maiden, 57, turned himself in on Wednesday after the grand jury issued an indictment accusing him of multiple felonies and misdemeanors stemming from an August 26th of last year sleepover. Police did not speculate on a motive. He laced mango smoothies with benzodiazepine, a depressant that slows the nervous system, and served the drinks to his daughter's friends. During the sleepover, the girls watched movies and did makeup spa stuff. I'm not going to use that word. Before he prepared the smoothies and insisted they drink them.
Wow.
The drinks had tiny white chunks throughout this and sprinkled on top, according to the affidavit. And continued to demand the girls to drink the drinks, even when one said she didn't like hers. He then made repeated trips down to the basement where the girls were sleeping, at one point holding his finger under a girl's nose to see if she was asleep.
Oh, God.
He also moved one girl's arm and moved her body on the bed. The girl remained awake in fear that he was going to do something to her friend. Another girl recalled feeling woozy, hot, and clumsy after drinking the smoothie and blacked out fallen into a thick, deep sleep that she had never experienced before, according to the affidavit. He returned to the basement, stood near where the girls were sleeping, and for what seemed like an extended period of time, according to reports, seemed to be checking to see if the girls were asleep. After one girl was rescued from the sleepover, her parents called the families of the other girls to go get them. When the parents arrived at around 3 a.m., he resisted letting the girls go home. Try that.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I will no longer be Corbin.
Exactly.
I will turn into probably someone who's going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the guy's wife in this? Or is he just a single dad? Does it say? Do we know?
It did not go into that.
Huh.
Cops were then called to a hospital emergency room where the girls were tested positive for having ingested an unknown prescription drug. The girls interviewed by police around noon the following day, between 9 and 12 hours after they had allegedly been drugged. Police observed that one walked slowly and used the assistance of the mother for her balance. Her eyelids were heavy and she spoke slowly. Court records show that he and his wife divorced late last year, but had owned a home in this area at the time of the sleepover. The man's attorney said he had not seen evidence in the case. He's presumed innocent. We hope that people will reserve judgment until all the facts and circumstances are known, said every innocent person ever.
Yeah, right.
He faces charges including causing another person to ingest a controlled substance and application of a controlled substance to the body of another person. He pleaded not guilty and is awaiting his arraignment. His bail set at $50,000.
Staying on that non-guilty train, huh? Well, it wasn't me.
I mean, separate legal system. Always say you're not guilty.
Right.
You deserve a trial.
Right.
Per the Constitution, you deserve a trial.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, F this guy.
Absolutely.
Right. I hope they get the justice, the jail yard justice. I'm sure they will.
And if you're a parent who lets your kid do sleepovers, good on you. I'm not saying that makes you a good or bad parent. I'm just not comfortable with it.
Right.
Because of these type of stories.
Right.
I'd rather be wrong and nothing ever happen
Mm-hmm.
than let it happen and be wrong.
Right. Never really thought about it, to be honest with you. I can't really think if I never really let the kids have sleepovers anyway. Like, no, they couldn't even come over to the house. I got to think about it. I was like, well, did they have any come over to my place? No. And I didn't let them go over to their place either. So, yeah. Just never really came up, though.
If your girls ever ask why they can't spend the night, will you explain?
Absolutely. People are tricky.
Mm-hmm.
We live in too common of a time when people think that someone who hurts children or sexually assaults children is a guy in a trench coat.
Right.
I can name careers that people have that have hurt children. Those people would get defensive.
Mm-hmm.
It is people that do this.
Yeah.
The number of people that are in jobs of trust that do this is lengthy. So for me, it's important to have full disclosure and be like, yeah, people are tricky. I don't even like the word tricky. I like to use the word friendly.
Right.
Because they are friendly. You want some ice cream. Your mom said it was okay.
Sure.
You know me, I've been at your house.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
People are not who they say to be a lot of the times. They can lie dormant for a long time until they become active.
Right.
And so I just don't trust it. And I feel like I have a responsibility to protect them at all costs. And if that means they don't have a friend because they can't go to a sleepover, so be it. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Right. At least you didn't get diddled.
Yeah.
Words that should never have to come out of any parent's mouth.
I'm completely comfortable when they're 30s. Why didn't you ever let me have a sleepover? And giving that answer. Will never happen. I know. And I also know that doesn't mean it won't ever happen.
Right.
I know it can happen outside of a sleepover. Right. It can happen in youth sports groups. It can happen in church groups.
Yeah.
You can control what you can control.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just an easier, get that out in front. Just like my kid probably isn't going to have a phone until they're 13 or 14. I'm really okay with that. I don't care what happens. Well, they can text you. Probably.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
What?
It's tough. It's because, if they get into sports and they're going to so-and-so's house and doing all the things, sometimes having that phone
is convenient for who?
For the parent.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Absolutely.
I don't care about that. I'm not trying to make it convenient for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready to let my kid, the world have access to my kid.
Right.
Right.
So I don't care.
You're such a mean dad.
Totally. I'm fine with that.
I hate you.
Yeah. Oh, believe me.
Hate me
I
all you want.
practice that. I know that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. You can hate me. It's completely, I'm very comfortable with that. And I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. I'm just trying to protect.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get it wrong, but I don't care. I'll give them a phone. They just don't want a flip phone.
Right.
Oh, God, listen to this. My middle school daughter went to one that I had a bad feeling about. The mom made hubby go with me to drop off. Dad at the house looked high or drunk AF and ended up shooting a gun over the trampoline they were jumping on. My kid got picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little too much.
Yeah. I don't know what happens in your home.
Exactly.
We have really good friends. I don't know what their life's like when I'm not there, when they haven't cleaned up because we're coming over.
Right, exactly. Got company coming.
Or because they, a brother-in-law comes over or a cousin.
Right. They may be good people, but
See,
what people do they know?
That's the thing. You got to show up unannounced just to see what life is like when they don't expect you to come.
That's why I like just being crazy and we're all aware I am. that eliminates. I don't have to show up. We just won't get to that point. It's not my job to check on you as a parent. Yeah, crazy. Drugging 12-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Your friend does it. You still stay friends with him?
Hell no.
No.
He didn't get convicted.
Doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
Don't matter.
I'm trusting those victims.
Well, what kind of drugs are we talking about here? No.
I thought it was sprinkles.
Right. Get out of town.
Automatic, like you're done, huh?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You're drugging my kids. No, we're done. Bye.
I will be, because as if you're my friend, you're innocent until proven guilty. With that being said,
we're giddy. Sorry.
We're giddy. With that being said, you won't be watching my children and my children won't be coming around you.
No.
And I will be supported from a distance.
And you are not coming to the barbecue any longer.
Oh, you are not coming to any event my children are at.
No.
Oh, all right. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Tulsa's morning show continues next.
It's going to be like, oh, yeah, it was great.
I'll get one over the weekend, put one together, bring it in for you Monday.
You don't have to bring it in. You can just give me the verbal review.
Drunk Florida man kicked out of bar, returns and attacks bar owner. This happened last weekend in West Palm Beach. 37-year-old man kicked out of the bar for being too intoxicated, but quickly returned wielding a firearm, according to an affidavit. Fabio Lano Sanchez, arrested by Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. According to records, he was released on last Wednesday with $60,000 bond amount. He arrived to the area on July 23rd around 2 a.m. The owner of the bar said that he shows up. He was a little drunk. Then he got too drunk and he started harassing customers. So they asked the man to leave. He left to his car, but came back with a firearm. He pointed it directly at the bar owner and said, "I will shoot you." And then he threatened to shoot the bar's security. Well, then Sanchez decided, I'm going to just take off my belt and started swinging it at the bar owner. He hit him multiple times. A security guard began fighting with the suspect. And the bar owner began fearing for his life. He told deputies that's when he called 911. And they showed up, arrested him, said he was going to kill everybody. The owner had an injury on his finger from the belt. The guy himself did not have any injuries. The suspect had some scrapes and bruises on his face in his mugshot, though.
That's a very underrated weapon.
Absolutely.
A belt is,
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could do some damage with a belt. Trust me, I know. But to use it in like a street fight is not something you see every day. You hear about guns, knives, crowbars, baseball bats. I appreciate this guy for whipping out his belt.
Yeah, if you're good, like that whole towel whip, that people.
Yeah.
If you can do that with a belt,
You could whip the S out of
Yeah,
somebody. And you don't even have
especially
to
if it's
towel
leather.
whip them with it. You could whip them like a slave.
Uh-huh.
Crap. Right across the face. That's going to
Get the
hurt.
buckle.
Oh, yeah. Well, the buckle's good for handle.
Oh, that's true.
I guess I think of the scene from Indiana Jones
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
when Jones is in the street and the guy is the sword and he goes,
He's all over here.
and he just pulls out his gun and shoots him.
Right.
So
Well, everybody knows you don't bring a belt to a gunfight. However,
apparently you do.
the owner didn't have a gun.
One of them had a gun, right?
Yeah,
he
the
did.
bad
He
guy had a gun, but he
Yeah.
decided not to use the gun. I'm going to go a little bit lighter. I'm going to take my belt off and whoop him like a step kid. Quote unquote Christian woman arrested at a splash park. This happens in Ohio, where cops were called out to the Cedar Point Shores Water Park there in Sandusky. All right. They say that a woman that describes herself as a Christian and a grandmother was arrested because witnesses told her that she called a child a brat, a fat ass, and then pushed him off a floating toy.
I mean, brat,
Right.
fat ass.
And then pushes his tubby ass off the floating toy. Get out of here, fatso. Yeah. So they show up to this water park because this elderly woman, she's 67, and she's picking on this kid. They talk to the mother. Her name's Jennifer. She told them what was going on. And she fingered the 67-year-old woman. She's over there. The cops go over there and they talk to her. They're like, what's your name? And she says, I am Jennifer Lee Miller. And then she gives them an address, a date of birth, phone number, all the information they're looking for. And she admitted to calling the kid a brat, but she denied swearing at the child and says that she never touched him at all. She says that she's a good Christian woman and a grandmother and would never do such a thing. Anyhow, other witnesses contradicted what Jennifer had to say. And that's when the cops are like, listen, Miss Miller, if we have to come out here again, we're going to arrest you for disorderly conduct. And that's when Jennifer's like, okay, fine, whatever. So the cop leaves. And then I guess something clicked in the cop's brain, like, something didn't seem right about this whole situation. So he goes back to the water park. And I guess Jennifer, Ms. Miller, the 67
Morning show. 918-460-KMOD. Find out what everybody learned. We'll start with Lindsay. Lindsay, what'd you learn today?
I learned to run background checks on all my my kids' friends' parents before sleepovers. And I also learned that even my worst day is still a better day than the guy that says, I'm waiting for the results of my STD test.
Gimpy, what'd you learn today?
Well, I learned that Lindsay likes the pegging game. And I learned that there's a bunch of kids out there that now have foot fetishes because of the school.
I learned that pegging is a thing you can do at Cracker Barrel. Also, not a sex store, by the way.
Right.
And you can also have your rug checked there because they sell rugs. And I also learned in New Jersey where we don't kill people. It's Corbin saying, make sure that dishwasher is loaded right.
It's Lindsay. Stop tracking my cycle.
This is Gimpy, and I'm sorry.
Thank you. Far too kind.
You incapable of doing bad stuff, right?
Right, right. You can still be a good Christian person and be a douchebag.
Yes.
Texas woman attacked by snake and a hawk.